Morning, world. Good morning, Breeze Nation. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the pettiest man alive in the building, Mr. P.kidd. Not gonna lie, we both came through in the Bears gear. That's a little surprising, especially seeing what we saw from that team last night. We got a lot to cover today, man. We are here for you for 3 hours. Well, kid, 2.5, two, somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? But your boy will be here for 3 hours. We're going to be breaking down Monday Night Football. Of course, you know, we got to have our weekly trashing of Matt Nagy. I think that that's a must at this point. And then we're going to get into a lot more stuff just around the world, around the league, even looking at the fact that the Vikings, listen, Kirk Cousins has been on a tear where he really hadn't been a factor in these national games at all. And now all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins is the go-to guy in these national games where he's getting the job done. So we got a lot to break down today. So we're gonna jump pretty much straight into it. First things first, my boy, how you feeling this morning? Second day on mornings, man. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? How's life treating you?
Still can't believe I'm doing this shit. It's one of those days where it's like, you know what, it gets better every morning. I feel like I'm gonna be a better man after it. I'll probably go work out right after we're done.
Dog,
Something
and
like
hey,
that. But
listen, the funniest thing that cracked me up was like I was like, is it better? He was like, a little. I was just like, he doesn't realize there's gonna be some days where it's just not gonna be better. There's gonna
you
be some
don't
days when you wake up and you just gonna be like, nope, nope, still not ready for this.
you don't realize that I can't sleep at night. So all of a sudden I'm up looking at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning. Look, I gotta get on the air with Pat in 3 hours. This is gonna be a rough one.
Hey man, hey, but we here, man. We here. We gonna make it happen for the people, man. These early mornings get you started right. We got Jonathan in the chat early, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Let's get this thing. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. So we're going to be doing this every single day. I normally say we talk Chicago sports weekly. We're talking sports talk daily. Get in tune with us, man. We got a lot of content coming your way. We appreciate that love. Listen, let's jump into it. Well, first things first. Let's look at this. To me,
Oh,
I feel like we can come into today and look at things a little bit differently. Because if you went into that game looking at how am I going to judge the Chicago Bears, you're still going into the game wrong.
mm, okay.
The
I
season
like
has
that.
been over for a long time.
Yeah, it's a wrap, dog.
It's a wrap. Wrap it up, throw it out, put it out back, let it go. It's over with. You should have gone into last night like I've said. Ryan Pace should go into every single week evaluating the players that are on the field. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who's been evaluating the talent all season, but I saw several guys out there that absolutely should have took Kendall Vildor's job a while ago in that secondary. And so I think there are actually some positives coming into today for Bears Nation, especially if you saw kind of how that game ends up unfolding. You know, you can look at it and just be like, man, these mugs still suck. As a collective, yes. Can't deny that the Bears still suck. Matt Nagy still sucks. But I think that you can come into today with a few positives from last night. At a minimum, I think that we have a good idea of what the culture around this team, and I'm coming into today using that word loosely.
Mm.
I'll tell you why after I let Kid talk a little bit, but I'm coming into today using that word loosely based on some of the things I saw last night as well. You can tell what the culture around this team is, and I believe that with a change of culture, it might not be the 4 or 5 years of oh my god that we thought we were are going to be getting, because
Agreed.
I see that there's going to be with the change of not maybe, you know what, maybe not just Matt Nagy, but maybe it is just Matt Nagy depending on what the Bears plan is. But with the change of a player, to me, or with the change of the head coach, the culture of this team could absolutely be completely different. What do you think, kid?
I agree, and it kind of showed. The team looked completely undisciplined, and that is a coaching thing.
Dog.
Um,
Dog. It's how
it's a
many
definitely a
players
coach
are
thing.
we talking about with this at this point? Javon Wims, Anthony Miller, what's his name? Travis Gibson last night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now,
is there
mind you,
some sort of punishment?
mind you, a lot of the coordinators and stuff like that weren't there, but I don't think that's an excuse for to be an undisciplined team,
No.
right? It kind of just shows you, the lack of control that Nagy really has, his ineptitude at the position, and you know what? Unfortunately, his face showed it. He looked like a man who just lost everything several times, and it was just like
Yeah.
it was just a very interesting turn of events. Uh, if you saw me on Twitter, you could see that I was
You were
having a
firing
moment.
everybody. You were
I was
firing everybody.
having a moment because it was one of those things where it's like we got down in the red zone, and you know what our red zone conversion has been? It's worse in the league, 56%.
It didn't get better last night.
Worse in the league. um, Went for it on fourth multiple times, did not get one touchdown until the end of the game in a situation where it's like you could have hurt a player more than you could have done anything else. Yet we're running these plays.
Yeah.
Man, take the knee and take the L.
Yeah.
Take the knee and take the L.
And at
I
this
don't.
the teaching moments aren't there anymore, bud.
It's not. What did Justin learn from that? Nothing. Um, the best part of that entire game for him was that little 2-minute drill.
Delivered a great pass.
Hey, listen.
Delivered a great pass to Horpstead. I will say that.
Delivered a great pass. Beginning of the fourth, that little hurry up offense that he ran all the way down the field can absolutely move the chains really well. And we've seen that, before. I mean, we saw that with Biscuits. There'd be flashes where it's just, all right, things are clicking, and then all of a sudden, all right, what was that? And it was just too many moments of that.
Yeah.
Highlight for me though was Tevin Jenkins. How do you feel about Tevin?
Well, let me tell you this right now. That I want to pull this up here, and I got the picture here, so it's gonna pop up over us real quick. But I want to show y'all this picture right here. This is the culture of your team.
Says everything I need to know.
Says every single thing I need to know. Now, I'm still coming into this with a lot of positives because I do see that guy in there. But that right there is the culture of your team. How many Vikings you see right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Vikings. There's a 7th running in. I don't even know who my man is. That David Montgomery right there? He's not doing nothing. Tevin Jenkins thinks that his quarterback was put on the ground with a little bit of a little bit extra going on.
Too much sauce on that.
You thought somebody added a little sauce to it. You don't do that to my quarterback. The rookie's the only one in there fighting for his guy. Cody Whitehair's running in, and you know who I got a problem with? I'll tell you right now. Jermaine Ifedi, who runs in after all of this is done, and he runs in and he's like yelling at the rookie saying, we can't do that, we can't get stupid penalties. Hey, Jermaine Ifedi, how about you stand up for your guy? Although I shouldn't expect it. You haven't stood up to any of the blockers all year. You've pretty much spent most of it on your back. Get your life together, dog. That's all I'm saying, though. Like, this right here tells me the culture of your team right now. And so I do feel good about the Bears coming into this. I do feel are coming out of this game because, to me, culture can change. The culture of your team can change. The camaraderie of your team can change. I think you hate to say that players have checked out, but the players have all but confirmed it themselves. So we know that there's some players that have checked out on this season. They've checked out on this team. They're ready to move on. Hopefully Jermaine Ifedi's one of them. And to me, I can see that there's pieces there. Now, at the same time, Tevin Jenkins drew some penalties. First official start, had some struggles with blocking and things like that. Hopefully, those are things that can improve. But to me, the thing you can't teach is, or the thing that you can't teach is teaching somebody to stand up for their guy. He knew to do that.
Yeah.
He was the one in that, and we saw dumb plays all night. We saw dumb penalties all night. Let's be real. The Bears did it to themselves. The Vikings really didn't win this game. The Bears lost it. The Vikings didn't do anything that was, oh my God, to stop the Bears. The Bears came in and they really turnover by Bird. Bird couldn't catch the pass to keep the drive going on 4th down. A couple of drop passes on 4th down.
Muff punt
return. Mooney couldn't get the that foot in, which I'm gonna be real with you. It's a crazy tough catch, but if he's gonna be your number one, those are the catches he's got to come down with.
He did come down with it.
Yeah, but not in bounds. You know what I'm saying? Those
faded to the corner, baby. It's like it was a tough.
But what I'm saying is, if he's your number one, those are the number one catches. Those are the catches that set you apart. Those are the catches you're number one. He got both hands on it. Justin put it in really the only spot where the defender's not going to get it. He's going to get it. You got to find a way.
It's one of those tough plays.
It's a tough play. Absolutely. I'm not diminishing that.
An extra centimeter, no, an extra inch on the trajectory of that helps him a lot, right? And so it's one of those things where it's timing on one, it's getting that fade right on the other. How about this? Not putting Justin in situations continuously where he has to make these like really, really like tough throws. Those are tough throws.
Where he's got to be Aaron Rodgers every single night. How about put a rookie in that position?
Not gonna put a rookie in the Aaron Rodgers position every night, right? And then here's the thing: the Vikings didn't have a good game. The Vikings had a really tough time. Our defense really, really stepped up, right? So here's the interesting thing about this entire game. Our defense, when we saw all our coordinators out and stuff like that, showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
Showed up and showed. Hey, Kirk Cousins was primed to put up 30 points. Somebody had them putting up 24 to 30 points on us.
Justin Jefferson on the night he got selected to the Pro Bowl put up what, 40 yards?
Shut
with
down.
3 catches? Shut down. Without Jalen Johnson there. That's why I said, who's evaluating the talent here that's supposed to be on the field?
How many sacks did we get? We got 4. Somebody had 4 sacks last night.
Let me see.
Had a day. Like those are the things that you take away from the game. Those are the caveats of the game.
Yeah.
But it's like, man,
Bears had 4 sacks last night. Yeah.
If you had a little help from your offense, help for your offense, and guess what? You're my offensive guru.
Yeah.
Help me. Help me, man. It's one of those things. And then I love to see Justin actually use his legs more. He got popped a couple of times before he started to do it. And we're gonna talk about the officiating in a second, because that's just retarded. I use that word appropriately,
very loosely. Very loose. Oh, I thought you were talking about officiating.
Officiating. No,
officiating is used very loosely after last night. I look at what we saw last night, you know what I'm saying, especially with where this team is heading, and I saw bright spots. Justin Fields, to me, and here's the thing. You kind of said, and I went back and watched it today, I think again, a horrible scheme was drawn up. You could tell Nagy was calling plays. It was just like, is Matt calling and there's the end around right there to Darnell Mooney for a yard. All right. I'm glad we got that in there. But I think that Justin or Matt, one or the other, adjusted better going into the second, kind of the tail end of that third quarter, going into the fourth quarter where it was crunch time and they had to just put the ball on the play, make plays, blah, 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 and I think to me, those are the moments where I get excited about Justin, because he looks poised in those moments. He looks like, all right, let me go through this. Not there. Let me do this. Not there. I'm going to step up. And I'll say this. They ran a blitz in him. They remembered the Titans him last night. He was like, we're going to blitz all night. They ran so many blitz schemes at Justin Fields last night. Justin did. I mean, he got sacked 3 times. The problem is he's getting knocked down after the play, and they're not really calling that as well. But
it's been open season on him, and I have a real gripe with that because he's getting hit.
He's getting hit.
Plays. He's getting put down. Like there's scrubs that get those calls in this league.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Those roughing the passer calls, right? You have to send a message, and I'm happy to see the ejection of Kendricks, because that was a stupid play. It was a dangerous play.
And I'll say this though. Dangerous play. That's how the NFL is forcing them to play. Because you've got one of 2 options. And it was a bad play. He's got to go out. You see that play where he's trying to tackle heads up, come in late anyway, ends up hitting him. Dirty shot.
Clearly wasn't intentional though.
Wasn't intentional, but a dirty shot.
I didn't get the sense it was.
But On the flip side of that, look at Godwin, who tears his ACL and is lost to a potential Super Bowl championship team for a season because I can't hit him up high because any contact to the helmet is up high. I'm gonna take his knees out.
That's exactly what happened.
You know what I'm saying?
Ugly play.
Like to me, like that stuff like that, like the NFL's got to figure it out. For some reason in sports, you're not allowed to have common sense. It has to be by the letter of the law for the play. And I think the NBA's kind of gone back to, okay, we're going to work around the gist of the law while still enforcing the rule, but we're going to work around the gist and see the intent on a lot of these plays. And to me, the NFL, it probably will never get there, but we've seen this our entire lives where it's like, yes, that is what the rule is intended to do, but is it going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to change, or is it going to be enforced in a way that even though this is the intent of the rule, I'm going to make this call and based on what I see on the field? Because we saw even the who was my man? He was trying to fight through. Was that Gibson as well? He's trying to fight through, get to the running back. They end up calling the chop block. And it's like clearly he's not trying to chop block. So we gotta get intent into the NFL a little bit. We gotta get common sense into the NFL a little bit with a lot of these play calling. And like you said, the officiating last night was horrid. But around the Bears, around Justin, and a lot of times when you're a bad team, the officiating is horrid for you. I mean, even the fact that Matt Nagy I'll say this. Last night was the first time all season Matt Nagy looked like he cared about his team. I don't think that he coached it very well. I don't think that he did a lot to help his team.
What gave you the impression what's the difference? He looked the same to me.
He looked like how many calls have we seen this year where it goes against the Bears and Matt's just like, come on, guys, what are y'all doing? Like, all right, next play. Because he's like, I've never seen a ref change a play because a head coach is yelling at him. Last night, Matt Nagy looked like he was sick of his team getting screwed out of calls. Last night, he looked like he was sick of his star quarterback getting hit after the play. Last night, he looked like he was sick of his team getting called for penalties that absolutely were not penalties. And you saw him laying into the refs all night long. Like, are you going to call this evenly or not? Are you going to call this game evenly or not? Are you going to give us a chance or are you going to take it away? And I will say this, the Bears did enough themselves to lose the game.
But I did see some things that
there's definitely some things that take at least you being in a position to put points on the board, off of the board. Now, at the same time, when you get into the red zone, 4 times, 5 times, and you convert once, that's what happens. You lose games. Literally,
and you go all 4 downs on several of them.
And listen, literally any number you want to use to talk about how you win a game, the Bears lost that number.
Yep. Should have been here. We came well. Hey, God, we missed it by that much.
That much.
You know, it's one of those things where I like to see Justin actually get more vocal. He looked tired. He looked tired of getting hit. He looked tired of that play where he tried to he downed it. He went down. He took a knee in the play. He still gets hit.
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's one of those things where it's just like, man, what is it? I don't agree with the bad teams don't get officiated well. That shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, yeah, the team sucks, but that doesn't mean you let them kill my quarterback like that.
No.
Like after the play.
Yeah. No.
Justin has to get that ball out, though. I tell you that much. He can't hold on to that ball. So he's still that's rookie mistakes too. I'd rather him take the intentional grounding at this point. I do. He gets hit too much. Take the grounding. I don't care.
On that play, that was another where it was just egregiously late, where he's clearly about to give himself up. They've blown.
He gave himself up.
They've blown
Took
the play
the knee, came back up and got hit.
But you know what I'm saying? Like even with that, it's like there's certain things that you can't control in the NFL. Good Lord. So talking about getting hit, Mac Jones got cleared on that one. I got the morning show. They just killed Mac Jones. Good, relax, brother.
Did he get up?
He got up. But to me, dog, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't see a flag anywhere, dog. The disrespect on the rookie quarterbacks is wild. Wow. But no, like the thing that I'm looking at with Justin is that there's certain things that you can't control. You can't control when the other team's going to take a cheap shot, when the other team's going to hit him after the play. But what can be controlled is officiating that. And we haven't seen that for Justin. All year we've seen Justin taking late shots. It's not new. We've talked about it on numerous post-game shows.
Yeah, that has to change.
And
somebody got to get active. Somebody got to go to the refs, or somebody need to do something.
And you know what it is too? A lot of times it's getting somebody in here with that respect, getting somebody in here with, and it shouldn't be that way. I agree with you, but I mean, when Matt Nagy's yelling at me on the sideline with his 4-9 team, and he's still talking about a coach of the year from 2018, and he's the head coach, that's real. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? You could chirp all you want. You're not going to be here in a month.
He might not be there after today, to be honest with you.
Do you think that
man, listen, when they're talking about it on a Monday night football game in the second quarter, then they mention it again.
And his boys talking about it. Louis Riddick is his guy.
Dog, they talked about it all game. And at this point, you know what they kept mentioning?
Yeah.
New rule, teams can inquire of coaches if their current coach has been informed he's going to be let go. Let's see what the Bears do. This is a George McCaskey call. This is not a Ryan Pace call. George has to make the decision.
To me, it depends on who's going.
I'm going to be honest with you. Hearing him say that, he said it 4 times.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting because to me, it made me feel as if, what if Pace can't fire him? What if he never could? What if that's how they ran it? That was just it was the way Lewis said it.
This is the thing. If he can't fire him, to me, it means you're tied together.
That's stupid.
If you can't fire him, to me, that means, we're tying you with Matt. You guys have to find a way to win. You guys are our football guys. And really that's all they did in that before the season eval or whatever coming into this. It was, these are our football guys. These are the guys. But here's my problem. I don't trust anybody in the building to get it right the next time. Who's going to evaluate head coach?
I trust Ryan better. I'm gonna be honest with you. I trust Ryan better because it looks like he actually gives a damn. He actually does look like he gives a damn. I'm be honest with you. You can tell by the way he structured it, and you can tell by the way his picks have gelled.
Yeah.
Fields and Mooney, it's gonna be a nice tandem for a long time. That picture you just showed, Jenkins, that relationship they got already. Hey, he might have had his penalties, but guess what? I like the attitude he brings.
Yeah.
I do. I like that attitude.
He can play football.
Hey, and the penalty. So one of those penalties, they called him for a false start. I didn't see him move.
Yeah.
Did you see him move? I didn't see him move. In fact, I saw encroachment more than I saw him move.
I think on that one they might have called the wrong number on that. I think Fetty's the one that moved, and they called the wrong number on that. But I kind of saw what you saw when I was looking at it. And I was like, I don't see a movement on Tevin.
I didn't see a twitch. I didn't see a switch.
I saw the line move early. You could have called encroachment on that one as well, though. That one could have went either way. But this is the thing, right? That's the NFL. Sometimes there's calls that that could go either way. Sometimes there's calls. You have to overcome that. And the Bears had many an opportunity to overcome that last night. Yeah, they really did.
In the evaluation of the talent that we have.
With all the bad plays last night, if we score every time in the red zone, this game isn't close.
Not even close. And you know, one of the most telling things to me is, and you've said several times, this team can't handle passes to the outside. Talking about the Vikings. The Vikings couldn't handle passes to the outside. Yet we were still, for some way, somehow, trying to fit this run game in that got shut down pretty much, except for a couple plays. And it was just like, hey, let Justin be Justin for a second. Let Justin make something. Call plays that way. And when we saw that second half, third quarter, beginning of the fourth, we moved down that field pretty freaking fast.
Yeah.
And so it's, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Matt Nagy has lost this. He's lost it. It's just, you know what? I'm not gonna. I never want someone to lose their job, despite the fact that they're making millions. To just, good Lord, he can go ahead and be the team. He could be the crew member, the lead crew member at McDonald's because his billboard said so. But at this point, it's one of those things where it's just like the opportunity has passed him by.
Yeah.
It's time for a new voice in the locker room. It's time for a culture shift. It's been great. You had a decent run initially. Didn't all come together. It's okay. It's okay. Let's ride this out to some. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. I would respect him for if he bowed out himself.
Here's the thing.
If he had resigned, I would respect that, because either way, he's not. I don't believe there's any unemployment pay coming with this. Right?
Oh yeah. You get the unemployment. Listen,
he does.
You're not getting. You get. Well, I don't know what his contract is actually, because nobody ever clarified that from Matt Nagy. It's just like, is he been re-signed? Hell yeah. What was that, George? George, has he been re-signed?
George, yes or no? Does he have a new contract? It's just like saying he's your football guy. You don't know.
You know what I'm saying? He has no idea. But
does Ted still cut the checks, man?
Listen, Ted been cutting the checks for 20 years. But the thing that I want to see, here's what I want to know. Because a lot of people everybody says fire Nagy, right? Fire Nagy, get rid of him. Fine. Let's do that. What's the plan? Who's the target? Are we rebuilding this thing all the way up?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Is Ryan gone? Are we rebuilding this thing to the studs where we're going to find another football guy? And if we are, hey, Chicago, how about you get some dudes that played football for your city to help you find your next football guy? Olin Kreutz is begging you to do it. And maybe he's even begging you to be your next football guy. But to me, Olin Kreutz is begging you to help. The players are begging you to help.
Would you pick?
Please, let us pick. We're tired of being a part of a franchise that sucks.
Would you let Olin help?
Yeah, because Olin Kreutz understands. To me, Olin Kreutz is my GM with help. Because Olin Kreutz understands that it's not just the quarterback's job to win the game. Everyone who's come in here, what has been their thing? We're going to get the quarterback position right. We're going to get the quarterback position right. We're going to get the quarterback position right. We got the quarterback position right. You didn't protect him. Was he an all-time great quarterback? Probably not. For us he is, but probably not. But you had a pretty good quarterback in Jay Cutler here, and you couldn't find anybody to block on his left side. And that's with Olin here. So, like, to me, yeah, you can maybe you found your next franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. Maybe you found your next guy that's going to be able to actually be a perennial winner. You still got to protect them.
Yeah.
And somehow you've managed to find offensive linemen worse than the tight ends that were blocking for Deshaun Watson by the end of his season, his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Like, somehow you've managed to do that. Somehow you've managed to find a collection of guys that, I mean, other than maybe two guys, seem pretty useless most plays. And and Olin Kreutz would understand where the problem is, where to build it. And I don't know if he'd be able to do everything else. I'm not saying he would be the perfect GM or president of football, but to me, he's a guy that at a minimum gets that small position, and the trenches is where football is built. He might need a lot of help. But also Olin might put guys around him to help.
Yeah.
He's a football player. He gets football. The Bears, like, if you fire Ryan, there's no one in the building that understands football.
The business of football is different than the game. And so that's what I'm always worried about. Football players, yeah, you do know the game. You can probably scout talent. You can probably put the right pieces in place in theory. But do you understand the business of football? And that's the part of the game that I really like. I like the business of football. Just like the business of the NBA being totally different than the actual game.
Yeah.
Right? And so if Olin can do it, great. Like you said, put him in that position. Sure. Have him advise even. I would say have him advise. Have him be an advisor. Consult.
I wouldn't mind that because it's better than just going and getting old GMs that have been fired because they won back in the 80s.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like you bring guys. The problem is George clearly doesn't understand how to evaluate GM talent because he brings other people in to find his GMs. So, yeah, maybe Ryan Pace is a guy that sticks around. Maybe the Bears do hold on to him and he gets to make the decision. To me, that I don't know if that's where we're at, because if he was, I think Nagy would be fired in season. So I think that both of them are going to go. And even on the business side of the football thing, to me, the business ends up working itself out if you win.
Well, the one thing that we know is that he can't get fired right now because there's no other coaches right now that's available due to COVID. So I think,
listen,
he has to get
Chris Tabor or whatever.
Dog, he has to have the most fortunate stroke of chance ever, because like every time he's about to get fired, something is happening.
Nah, he giving it to him at this point. He's just like, "Oh, how you feeling?"
That's a bad joke. Listen, like the moment he was really we were sure he's about to get fired, it breaks too soon, and now they want to save face. It's like, hey, listen,
I 100% believe that.
I do too. I really do.
I 100% believe they were going to fire Matt Nagy after the Detroit Lions game, and they had to save face when the story broke.
Which it would have been a boss move if they had just rolled with it.
Now, I'd have fired him before the game, so the story was still wrong.
This is what you get for snitching.
I absolutely would have fired him before the game just so the story was still wrong. He'd be like, "Stop playing with me." Fired. Matt, we know you put this out there. You're not slick. Fired.
Get him out of here.
Cough to George on the way out.
Man, listen, let's move into a different topic, because I think we can harp on that all day. And it's unfortunate that we have a team that is so polarizing. It's a very polarizing team. I use that word loosely.
I mean, listen, what are your thoughts? Let's look at the other side of the field real quick. What are your thoughts on the Vikings? Actually showing some life, getting themselves back into, I believe they're in that 7th playoff spot right now.
7-7.
By the way, the Johnny Walker Black's on order. I was like, well, that prediction was wrong immediately. Gave me a week, please.
Hey, you could at least won one game. Fight back.
No, I've got no fight left, apparently. Dog. I've got nothing left in the tank for the fight. Dog.
Fantasy team quit.
Team won't fight. My real football team won't fight.
Vikings are in an interesting position. Do I think they're going to go all the way? No. But you know what? It's about matchups. It's about who they play. They have some moments where they completely dominate.
Yeah.
Then they have some moments where they fell apart. They have to play us twice. So this is the first one.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to come in and roll and get another win. Right? So that does nothing but increase their chances. Who's the rest of their schedule? They could actually end this season
Well, they've got to win out. They basically
they do have to win out.
They basically got to win out. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, they're a team that, and that's the question: can they win out? What's the rest of their schedule?
God, they got the in a must-win situation. Yeesh. They got the Rams.
Oh God, it's over.
The Packers. And then they end with us. Now, if they get by the Rams, who have been in and out, they have a lot of people in and out with COVID.
Yeah.
They can get past the Rams. They can get past the Packers, which I think is possible. I think it's possible they can get past the Packers. They should have no problem beating us. It's possible. That's. Let me look at the rest of the games. When's the last time they played? Because they played Green Bay before, right?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah, they lost. Don't worry about it. They lost.
No, they won.
The Vikings did?
Vikings beat the Packers by 3.
Oh, was it early in the year?
No, it was last month. November 21st.
Look at me on the old assuming.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. Now they've beat. Now here's the thing: can you beat Aaron Rodgers twice?
Can you beat Aaron Rodgers twice? No.
Yeah, can you beat him twice?
Yeah,
they looked at that schedule and looked at anyone who looked at that schedule said, yeah, that's a split, right? All right. So can you do it twice? If you did it once, I get you. They have not played the Rams this season.
Yeah.
So that's a completely new test. So the real game for me is the Rams.
Oh, that's right. They lost to Detroit. That's what I was thinking of. That's right. They beat the Packers and then immediately lost to Detroit.
Hey, Detroit is not a bad team.
Not a bad dog.
They're just not really good.
Not a bad dog. Yeah, let that.
Hey
go.
man, listen, wishing them the best because hey, our season is over. It makes no sense for me to sit there and be on this hill, be that guy like, oh, we don't want anybody else from our division. We're not going to make it. We're officially out of playoff contention. Yeah. That came out last night. The rest of these games are just consolation prizes at this point. It's almost as useless as the last minute drive with seconds left for this touchdown that the entire Soldier Field cheered for. Yeah. At the end of a game, and all I saw was if Justin gets hit right now, you're cheering for what?
You're cheering for Justin. What are they supposed to boo him? What do you want? You want him to boo him? Oh, Justin Fields.
Dog, he shouldn't even be in the position.
Well, he was.
No. What I'm saying is, hey, 30 seconds left. This means nothing. There was literally fans saying, why? Like you can hear them yelling. Why?
That was great. Why?
Like it doesn't make sense. It's so much you put at risk. You put a freak play, a player goes down. That could either be his season or next season or his career. For no reason. It means nothing. Take the knee, take your L. That right there is all I got to say about Matt Nagy. Now we could go on the flip side though. Let's talk about some Bulls. Okay. I heard the Bulls did well. Check that out.
He's got a nice little dub last night. Little face stomp of the Houston Rockets last night. Yeah, I'm saying
face stomp of the Houston Rockets. Talk to me about it because I know you called it.
Yeah, we had the live call of the game last night, man. It was a good game, man. It was a game where. The most important thing that came out of it, I'm not gonna lie, is you got DeMar DeRozan with a little bit of rest. And DeMar game is so methodical, bro. It's so methodical, bro. Like he scored 26 and I don't remember it. I mean, I remember when he got 16 because I was like, DeMar was 16 in the first half, and I remember him coming out in the second half getting an early bucket. That's the last bucket I remember. I looked up and I was just like, when did he get 26?
I gotta give this once in a blue moon. Gotta give a round of applause. If you know, you know. Oh, we're on radio. Never mind. For those who tune in, Kobe White scored 24 points. Look at
Oh, the
that.
Kobe White
My
love.
man had a game.
Oh,
About time. Got to
he had
give
a
him
game.
his. He had a game. It's against the Rockets, but he had a game, right? He had a game. He can't do anything about the opponents in front of him. Got it. Can I don't want to diminish it. Probably shouldn't have said it that way, but I did. Um, had a game. 24. I like this. Even scoring. Cook 11 points. McKinney 16. White
Yeah.
24. Lonzo 19. Vooch 18. It's looked like he's still struggling a little bit. It's supposed to be supposedly a game I thought he'd do a lot more. At least with the matchup. But I guess the matchup is what made him do that.
Well, I mean, you
Um,
got Christian Wood on the other side.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Christian will put up 23. So I guess it's pretty even.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. What did he get? He got 18 and 8.
Uh, 18, 6, and 4 to
18,
23,
6, and
11,
4.
and 1.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Vooch took on the challenge, boy, because Sengun came in. There are a lot of good rookies in this league right now that we don't talk about.
Oh, Sengun is nice.
Sengun has a nice game, y'all. I'm talking about he had about 3-4 plays in a row where he was hitting Vooch and Vooch. But this is the thing that I like, right? Vooch looks at it and he's like, nah. Nah, you not finna do that to me, dog. And all of a sudden, he's like, Vooch, that dude. It's like, Vooch reminds me a lot of Melo. Like, I play defense when I got to. But then, like, if somebody start giving you the business too much, all of a sudden you see Melo get into a technical position. Now he tipping the ball away. Now it's like, you could play defense this whole time? I
Where
mean,
was this entire time?
Gloom came through, back to the basket, hit him, left shoulder fake, turn around, pump fake, tried to step through. Vooch said, SWAT, stop playing with me. I was like, okay, Vooch, relax, brother. Like,
hey, I like him though. I told you he was a sleeper. I like him.
The NBA has so many good rookies this year, dog. Sengun, Mobley, Ayo Dosunmu. I love, man. I mean, it's a lot of good big men, a lot of good big that play inside the paint.
You know what? And I hate to say, but to me, the one where he's not a rookie anymore, the one player that kind of changed that, where you saw like people going at it, coming into Ja Morant. Looking at Ja Morant and just seeing how he like would attack the game.
I got a topic for y'all that I kind of brought up last night, but go ahead.
Seeing how he attacked the vets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, tell him to ask about me, stuff like that. That type of mentality. When you play basketball, is one of those things where like they all can play. It's just about as much confidence as you have. You got to have that confidence and trust in your game.
Yeah.
And you got to carry it. We're seeing more rookies do that, and I absolutely love it. I think the game is in good hands, man. Moving forward,
the game
excellent
is in
hands.
And to me, there's a matchup that no one ever talks about that I believe we got a chance to see last night. I didn't get to see. I always go back and I rewatch the with NBA League Pass, you get the like sped up version of the game just with like without all the free throws and the stoppage. But I really want to see, because to me, there's a very underrated matchup out west that I think is going to be the matchup that we're going to be talking about for a long time coming, and that is between Ja Morant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, Ja Morant, coming back off of COVID, didn't have a great game. Or I'm sorry, not off of COVID. He was off of injury, wasn't he? Or was he on COVID protocols?
We're going to consider the injury either way.
Coming back off of injury. He had 16, 6, and 8, 6 for 12, 3 for 5 from the free throw line, only 1 3-pointer. He only played 28 minutes, but didn't have a normal Ja Morant game. But Shai Gilgeous, 23, 5, and 4, 7 for 8 at the free throw line, 3 steals, and he went 0 for 5 from the 3-point line, shot at 8 for 19. But to me, those are two dogs. Two dogs at the point guard position. To me, I look at that battle as the next Derrick Rose versus Russ. The next like that matchup where you're like, oh no, we tuning in for this. That to me is gonna be
Kyrie versus Steph.
Kyrie versus Steph, a little bit, but they were more like, I think they were more sparking it up than they were like going at each other. They would really, let's be real, they were just trying to break each other ankles. Like everything about that game was just like, I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna put you down.
The best point guard battle between them was when Kyrie was on Boston, and he absolutely was going bucket for bucket with Steph.
Yeah.
We talk about distant threes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are the type of games I love to see. It's one of my favorite games of all time. That's how much of a show they both put on. So if you're telling me Shea and Ja's gonna give me that, hey, I want to see. I don't really pay attention to Shea that much,
and nobody does. Nobody does. And to me, he's so underrated. He's had two. Now he had technically a game tying shot, but then I think Devontae Graham ended up.
Oh yeah, those are once in a lifetime plays.
Tough loss, but he's had two clutch shots in back-to-back games, one to win the game and one to tie the game. And then, of course, last night, and then Memphis ended up coming out on top of that one. But to me, Memphis just has a better team over there. You know, Shea's rolling out with Derek Favors and Robinson Earl and Josh Giddey. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he doesn't have a lot of help over there.
But apparently good coaching because they're competing. They're competing, and I guess that the tutelage of CP3 is still there because you can tell that they still carry that well for such a young core. Yeah. And I actually, the only thing I can see is they do make noise, but I haven't paid enough attention to it. I guess I have to now. Shea's just one of those players where, I'll be honest, I didn't think he had it. I thought he looked good next to CP3, and I was attributing a lot of that to CP3.
Yeah,
because that's just the effect of CP3. See, he can be a good coach.
Yeah,
he's a good coach, especially with younger players. But I gotta tune in, man. I gotta really tune in. I like the young players in the league now. I really do.
He likes the matchup of Anthony Edwards and Ja. He likes to watch that one too. Can Ja hold Ant? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they like Ant's guarding Ja?
Ja can't hold Ant.
I don't think Ja can guard Ant. And I love Ja, but I don't think Ja can guard Ant.
Ant's too big for him.
Yeah, that's a grown man down there. You know what I'm saying? That's a different kind of animal right there, but the same beast.
Hey, what does that mean?
You're welcome.
What's he talking about? But I'm the best. Best Kanye West commercial ever.
But the same. Are you the same animal but a different beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome. Oh, that's such an iconic commercial, dog. No, I'm excited to see where the NBA is heading. I'm excited to see the young guys that are coming up in the league, and I'm excited to see kind of where the teams that aren't there yet, where they're gonna go.
Hey, Minnesota might be there, man, dog.
Minnesota's an interesting team.
Minnesota might be there.
Murray versus Mitchell was a legendary series, Jay Garf says.
They dropped 50 on each other back to back.
Yeah, that was cool, but Murray ain't been healthy since that series.
Well, you can't blame that on him. He had a what was it, ACL?
I mean, yeah, I ain't saying it. I'm just saying he ain't been healthy since that series. Like, I can't call it a great matchup, and we don't see half of the matchup.
I think they were just referencing the fact that I brought up old Steph.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, when we're looking at the West is so interesting this year, dog. The West is so interesting this year
because Dallas can figure out what the heck they doing over there. I mean, they have all the tools to be an absolute powerhouse. I mean, you got your big man who's staying healthy. He's been healthy this season, and he's still a formidable big man. He still can shoot. He can still defend. He can still. I mean, he's not giving you 20 rebounds, but I mean, he can still do all the stuff. And you got the second coming of got a European LeBron bringing down the ball. Like,
let me ask y'all this question. I want to ask the chat. I want to ask the listeners. I want to ask you. I've heard you say that many a times, and the numbers would say that you're absolutely correct. But is Luka as good as we think he is, seeing as how there seems to be a direct tie to his team becoming instantly defensively worse the second he gets on the court. And I'm talking about, there's literally a stat out there. I wish I had saved the tweet that breaks down the defensive rating when Luka's on the court and the defensive rating when Luka's off the court. And Dallas goes from being legitimately a top 3 defense in the NBA to being one of the worst. And to me, can we say that he's that guy? Can we say, because it's like when you look at Luka, when he's scoring on the offensive end, nobody's going to hold him. But if you're the direct reason that for some reason, and maybe it's coaching, maybe it's Jason Kidd, but for some reason there's not a connection defensively. Can we say that? Because and I don't want to compare him to these guys, but like I look at guys like Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer could absolutely score 25 in a game. He'd give you 25 and 11. The problem is he'd give up 26 and 12. Is Luka, not Carlos Boozer, but is Luka that having that kind of negative impact on his team to where, yeah, we can say, yes, he's a LeBron type player, but LeBron doesn't make your team defensively worse. LeBron, you looking at the number now, you're just like, my God.
It's weird because his defensive rating is almost similar to Lonzo's.
What is it?
His defensive rating is 107. Lonzo's is 106.2. And so it's one of those things where.
But you know what? Like the rating.
Here's what I have to ask: who is taken out of position when he's on the floor? Because when he's not on the floor, who are you putting in that's increasing that defensive rating because he's not on the floor?
Yeah.
Right. And so the stat is kind of like, I get it, and I'm not disputing it because I do think he's horrible at defense. I really do.
That's
but
why
it's also a very misconstrued one because when it's just KP. Say it again.
I said his defensive rating is 107?
107.
This year?
Dog, it says it's 107. I mean, please look it up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I'm just thinking. I'm like, I actually like, because they actually
that stat I don't like, because it's like the defensive rating for that team goes up because there's more people who solely excel on defense on that team than offense. Now, the one thing is he got to stop crying every time he get fouled or everything like that. He needs to quit that. That's like, somebody needs to slap him for that one. But outside of that,
man, that just blew defensive rating stat out of the water, dog. Because Luka absolutely don't try to play defense.
Hey, his defensive rating is higher than a lot of our star players. So it's one of those things where I was like,
defensive rating you want lower because it's based on how many points you give up per 100 buckets. So your defensive rating you want closer to 100 than you want to.
True.
Going higher up. Like Katz is awful. Like that's why like Katz is an excellent player, but his defense rating is like 113. It's like you're getting killed out there.
But look at the list. Luka's top 30 on defensive rating.
That's crazy.
So there's a lot of players beneath him.
That's
right. Crazy. So if he's top 30, I'm just trying to figure out how does that stat?
Yeah.
Is it?
We can see it. Yeah. We can see it. Like I can see Luka just be like, "Hey, you got that one."
But he don't do the James Harden, which is weird because James Harden at times, especially Houston James Harden, did not stick defense.
You know what? James Harden, we didn't like how he stuck defense. James Harden was always a leader in steals. James Harden was always in the picture in blocks. I'm not a leader, but he was always a nice player in blocks. But James would absolutely let you get past them more times than not because he would try to play the lane, and if you got through the lane, he was like, all right, you through.
Hold on, let me adjust something real quick. For some odd reason, we got the heat on hell right now. I am dying right now.
For those of y'all that don't know, man, P.kidd is in his P.kidd is always in he shoots his studio's in the basement like mine is. But it's like right by the furnace. So there's only one of two options down there. It's either off and you're freezing to death, or it's on and you're dying. So he ends up there's always that moment. So behind the scenes, y'all ever notice like Kid will dip off, take off like the jersey, and then come back in and just be in a whole different shirt? Like, there's always that moment. So I know he just went and cut the whole heat off for the whole house. And now he's back.
Yeah, they're going to have to freeze that out. I wasn't adjusting crap. I just flick. Hey, let
just
there
cut
be
it all the
air.
way
How
off.
about that?
Oh
I should have
my
turned
God.
the AC on to see who wakes up first.
Oh man, you a wild boy. But no,
Welcome to the Squid Games.
But no, like Squid Games.
Welcome to the Squid Games. Hey, turn it on, turn the AC on and break it. See who can fix it first. Deep, doop, deep.
Welcome to Squid Game. You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I never finished Squid Games, never even got into it really. I watched like 3 episodes and I was like, this is stupid.
Hey, my wife got me into it after they so apparently they had quit and then went back. So I saw her watching it when everybody was going back. I was like, oh, what they doing? And then all of a sudden that's the I think the whatever episode it was. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like this is a little psychological thriller right here. I mean, imagine thinking, yeah, I'm about to play hopscotch, and you get shot. Who the heck? How the heck you gonna kill me of a kid game? That's just maniacal. Like, who the heck thought of this?
And then you get shot.
Like, this is supposed to be red light, green light. All of a sudden, bow. What the? Like, buddy wasn't moving at all.
The red light, green light was hilarious, dog. Because I was like, y'all sitting here running full speed when literally, if you just walked from the very beginning, so many people would have lived.
It's also
I
time,
just like, I was like, y'all gotta relax, dog.
Hey man,
Oh
listen.
man, that was funny.
I would have definitely bust up laughing. And the first time when Buddy thought he was like Buddy thought he had it, he just ran out there, got popped. Well, no, that's not funny. Anyway,
Dude, dog, relax, brother.
that's what you get for cheating.
What you get for cheating, buddy. And then they was gambling on it as well. Your debts are paid. But no, not like, and getting back to the topic, that was funny. And we saw it a little bit in the chat as well. Muz talking about Luka's overrated. Is Luka overrated?
25, 8, and 8 is not overrated.
When your team can't win with it though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, like is where does the defense lie on that?
What's overrated is Russ's triple doubles.
Is Luka the problem, or is Jason Kidd the problem?
No, it's not. The problem exists before Jason Kidd got there. I think they're trying to make two alphas work, and it's not going to work. KP wants his own team, needs his own team, and to be honest with you, KP is the type of player you put a bunch of complementary shooters around.
Yeah,
you can't have a ball dominant player like Luka with that type of personality. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
you have to establish identity. Whose team is it? I think once they get really clear as to who team it is, and I know that people don't like that analogy.
I think KP's just on the losing end of that.
Well, we know that, but to be honest with you, when KP's had some games where it's like they've won, they play better defensively as a collective, right?
Yeah.
the roles, and I think it's because the roles are clearly defined.
Yeah.
Brunson, when Luka's not in, Brunson has great games.
Yeah.
Right? And he can defend and stuff like that. The ball moves. The ball movement is better when Luka is not on the floor. And that makes for good winning basketball. But as an individual talent, and can he absolutely get them there? I mean, we're talking about a player who had some game winners last season. We're talking about a player who absolutely putting fear in, what was it, the Clippers and stuff like that. So it's one of those double-edged swords. But if there's any, I don't look at his 25-8 days and say, oh yeah, he's overrated. Please. Like at 20, like we don't, I hate to put the racial card in it, but he doesn't get the respect because he's European.
I think he don't get the respect because he's in Dallas.
I don't think that would matter. He could have did this anywhere.
Yeah, but it makes a difference where you do it at. Like
Dallas is prime.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. KAT screamed out, "I'm the greatest shooting big man of all time," and there's a bunch of people that didn't bat an eye at it. And I was like, hold on, quick question, just in case anybody's listening. Doing a show here. Did Dirk die? But you don't think about Dirk. You don't think about him because he spent most of his career in Dallas. And if we're being honest, you forgot most of his career until he won that championship. You're like, oh yeah, Dirk's pretty good, ain't he? Oh yeah, he's like one of the greatest big men to ever be in the NBA. Maybe not body wise, but at least scoring wise, points wise. Like, oh yeah, Dirk's really good.
You went that route. You know what? I didn't go that route. When he said that, I was like, I guess KG just never existed in Minnesota, because KG shooting wise was efficient.
He was efficient, but Dirk was.
Oh yeah, Dirk was a better shooter.
Dirk was a better shooter.
But it's KAT in the Minnesota jersey saying I'm the best shooting big man. It was like, I remember KG coming down giving people buckets right there in that little mid range game. Yeah. You got to really rethink this one. But
it wasn't Mike. That's the greatest story of all time. It wasn't Mike. Oh yeah.
But since you brought it up, is he one of the greatest big men? Like him saying it, I like the confidence he's exuding. Is there any truth to it? Like, is it possible?
This is always my thing about KAT. And especially in this NBA. Is KAT good enough to outscore the best scoring big man in this league?
Who's the best scoring big man in this league?
Probably Embiid at this point. Probably Embiid. I was saying overall though, like Embiid, Jokic. Is he, especially if he's going into a playoff series versus these much? You know what I'm saying? Is he good enough to outscore them? And so if he's not, I know he's not good enough to defend them. So to me,
Embiid versus KAT.
To me, like I look at those games and I'm looking at them as, yes, it's good that he's playing better. It's good that he's still the number one offensive option on that team. But to me, if I'm looking at the consistency of it, if I'm looking at the is he going to be how he's going to match up versus the other guy, Embiid can put up 50 at any point. And KAT's not going to be able to stop Embiid from putting up 50 because he's not good enough defensively.
Embiid is the best shooting big man, if I'm going to be honest, in the league today.
Not all time.
In the league today, what can he do?
In the league today, I'll give you.
Mid-range?
Yeah.
3-pointers?
No, in the league today.
Has a nice footwork with it.
Yeah.
He's almost a guaranteed bucket, but especially below the free throw line, for so many different ways.
Yeah.
If we're just talking about centers that can shoot, hey, well, and by the way, he ain't dominated. Embiid has had, well, this last year, Carl got Embiid. Now Embiid won the game, but KAT did put up 39 and 14.
Yeah.
You had yourself a day, sir.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not saying KAT can't have a day. I'm not saying KAT can't have a great game, but to me, KAT's not going to do anything defensively So I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, for a playoff series. I'm thinking, is he going to be able to do enough defensively? Is he going to be able to do enough to slow down what the other team is doing, that his 39 are going to make that great impact? And to me, I don't think he can. But I know that if Embiid locks in defensively, Embiid's a really good defender. Embiid was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year last year as well before he got hurt.
That's such an interesting thing, man. That's such an interesting thing. Little ambitious by Cat. I give him that. I like the
hype in the moment. He's hype in the moment. I love it.
You gotta have confidence.
And he was killing AD. And you also got to think that's the Kentucky.
Hey, AD's in still. We just forgot AD exists.
Well, that's because street clothes can't stay healthy.
I mean, before that, he was still 24 8 and some change.
What do you mean before that? He hurt every year. He said before that, like we've had a season where he ain't been injured. I thought you cut the mic off. He just start choking. He said before that. Before what?
Y'all gonna stop it with the y'all gonna stop it with the AD hate. AD,
hey, listen, this is what killed me though. Where the Bron fans at? If you're probably not in here, I'm not gonna lie to you, because if you are, we torture you. But nobody's talking about how Bron's the one that hurt him. Bron literally pushed a player into him, trying to go through the screen or trying to push him off so that he could go pass to get the pass back from AD, and he pushed him into his knee. And like nobody's talking about that. I'm like, fam, did anybody else see this? Am I really the only one that saw Bron like literally throw this man into AD?
Listen, the players know. They're gonna look at that tape. Is like, how did this happen? Bron trucked somebody into him. Guess we're gonna let this one slide. Street clothes ain't street clothes this time. he's a victim to LeBron at this point.
He's a victim of Bron. Nah, I can't do it, dog. I was just letting that slide. That's wild to me. I was like, nobody else is seeing this, and I'm the only one that's seeing this human being throw another man into this man's knee. That
is wild. That is wild, man.
But no, there's so much to me that's interested with Cat, and just around the NBA with where the big man position is. It's wild to me how many of them don't care about the defensive end now. It's like that was your side.
You caught the game last night.
Yeah.
We talked about Sengun.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about Christian Wood, though. We're talking about big men. He's a big man, 23 and 11.
He's never
a stretch
inside.
4?
Yeah, he's never inside. And I don't know if that's because of how they play it, but I mean, he wasn't guarding Vooch. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like most of the game, he was outside because of his quickness. He was playing up on DeMar on a lot of plays. He was playing up on Lonzo on a lot of plays. Like he was never inside defensively.
By the way, great coaching adjustment, because they have nobody for DeMar. He still got cooked apparently. Great coaching aside. Hey, I'm going to put my tallest, most athletic guy on your guy who gets all these mid-range shots. Makes sense to me.
DeMar's game is so methodical, bro. I will continue to say that. Like, I've never, you know what it is to me? I'll tell you exactly who DeMar reminds me of. We always say Kobe because of LA. We always say, and the turnaround. The turnaround is Kobe to me. But a player that nobody ever really gives respect to, a player that nobody ever really, I guess you give him respect if you're an NBA fan, but you don't talk about him the way he should be talked about.
Hold on, wait. Give me the year.
He played in the 1980s, I believe a little. Let me look it up. Maybe a little bit of the 90s.
West Coast or East Coast?
East Coast.
Two guard?
Two guard. Well, I mean, look at the high. I believe he would have been a two guard in that NBA. So he played, his career was from 77 to 92, a little bit of the 90s. He was a small forward. He'd have been a two guard today's game. Good morning,
Cordell. Only thing I can think is Mark.
You said what?
On East Coast, only thing I can think is Mark.
And that's what I mean. Bernard King. Bernard King was a, if we're being honest, Michael Jordan type of scorer. But it was because he had his spots. He talked about it. He broke down why he was so good. Bernard King could literally, he said, I had 5 spots. And in every spot, I could do 5 different things. And there were only 3 different things that you could do to defend me in every one of my spots.
Dang. Yeah, I slept on him.
Bro, the Bernard King.
Oh, he did it to himself.
Bernard King is who I looked at.
He played for the Bullets. Nah, I'm just joking. I
got traded to the Bullets. And you know, back then, you didn't have, I don't think it was free agency yet.
Oh, yeah. There
wasn't no free agency yet.
Every place he went to, his career just died because he was on teams that were bad. He played for the Nets expansion team, Utah at the time, which was 79 expansion team, Golden State, another low market.
Look at that 1990 season with the Bullets.
28.4 a game on 57% shooting, 47% shooting. Hey man, buddy was nice.
Bro, Bernard King was a dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I look at Kevin Durant, everybody always talks about, you know, there's never been a player like this. And at that height, there's never been a player like that. I agree with that. But to me, Bernard King was a monster. A monster. And he literally broke down how he did everything. He's like, I had this amount of shots. We did this. We talked, or we moved in this direction. There's only so much you can do to me. And I knew how to beat everything you were going to do. And that's what DeMar reminds me of when I watch him play. DeMar runs up, dribbles to his spot. Doesn't matter what you do to him. He's got a counter for it. And when he has that counter, he's very efficient at knocking it in.
Led the league in scoring in 84, 85.
He's a problem, dog.
Well.
Yeah. Muggs didn't know, dog. He was a problem. Like he was, to me, he was KD before KD.
At 6'7"?
Well, you know, back then 6'7" was basically 6'11". But where you were doing that. But just how he scored, like it was just effortless. Like he literally was like, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna get. He told him, he said, I'm gonna score 50 in the Garden tonight. So y'all, he gave tickets away to his family. I'm gonna score 50 in the Garden tonight. Y'all pull up.
No,
he scored.
Definitely had it.
And so, like, to me, like he's one of those guys, or like that's how I'm looking at DeMar's game. It's just so methodical. Like it looks scientific how he's shooting. It looks scientific how he's shooting. He just goes to his spot, top of the key, top right side, pump fake, spin move, step through, pull up, got it. Left side. It's not even a spin move. It's just I know how to shoot. You can have your hand in my face. It doesn't matter. I'm knocking this down. Like it's an effortless game, and it's a beautiful game, and I love it. I love it. I love seeing good basketball. I love seeing good basketball.
Yeah, I love seeing good basketball. Shout out to you, because that was a name I didn't think he does not. He's not a blimp on my radar.
He's a blimp on nobody's radar, which is why I be like he's probably the most underrated player in NBA history.
Didn't make top 75. Didn't. That is a good one.
He's probably the most underrated player in NBA history.
I still think that's Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond, nah, dog.
Mitch Richmond didn't make top 75. No one even brings him up. But since his rookie season, all the way until, he played how many seasons? How many seasons does this man play? He played 14 years. His first 10, he did nothing but drop buckets. He terrorized your favorite player.
Yeah.
All the time. Absolute bucket getter, professional bucket getter. But he played for Golden State. Then he went to Sacramento. And at the time, those teams didn't get a lot of love.
Well, he didn't terrorize my favorite player. He wasn't terrorizing Jordan.
He did terrorize Jordan.
You said what?
He did terrorize Jordan. Hey, Mitch got some games. You know who actually had some games against Mike too that was cold? Ron Harper.
Oh yeah, Ron Harper was
Ron Harper before the injury was a dog.
Yeah. Hold up. I gotta see this here. Let me see.
Mitch was giving people buckets. I'm
dog.
You said what?
Nah, dog.
Hey, listen. When you say terrorize Mike, this is what I mean.
Hey.
Mike had to work just as hard.
You know what?
Because he didn't go down without a fight. Sometimes you see Mike 50 versus 10. It was like
I don't know where this lines up at year wise. But no, Mitch was giving them the business. 42 to 14 the first time. But after that, Mitch won a couple of the matchups too. 32 to 30, Mitch way. 33, both of them got 33. Mitch lost that one. 36-17. And he outscored him there, 30-27. It's Mitch Richmond. I don't know if he terrorized Mike, but he might have been in the head.
If you drop 30 on Mike and if you get the same point total on Mike multiple times, I mean, hey, listen, that's a feat. that means, hey, listen, Mike, I dropped 30 on you. Guess what? You got to come back to Chicago. Mike still got the same buckets, man.
Nah, that's interesting, dog. That's not bad. The Mitch Richmond, that's a good one, dog. I love that we just went down old school NBA memory lane right there. Like,
hey, everybody this is how you know we're tired.
Nah, I'm not tired. Man, I got up early. I got up because I had to rewatch the Bulls game or the Bears game because I didn't watch. I didn't really watch. I watched like the fourth quarter, but for the most part, I didn't get to see the game. So I wanted to go back and see kind of like what really happened, how they really broke that down. So I've been up since like, I don't know, 4:30, something like that.
Yeah, we trade off. Like I went to the gym, came back, spent some time with the kids because they don't want to break. So we're sitting in racing cars and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, boom, it's 1:00 in the morning. I'm like, God dang it. Gotta get up.
Hey, listen, I know it's bad whenever I wake up and I see a text from you and it's just at like 1 a.m. just like, you watch Spider-Man yet? What?
I can't sleep, man. Can't sleep. I just can't.
Yeah.
I feel okay. Like, hey, listen, Starbucks needs to give us a sponsor. There's a Starbucks right down the block. I'm telling you, those people know me by name. God, it's horrible. It's bad. It's bad. All right, let's get back into this sports thing, man. Let's get about to talk about my bad spitting habit.
I was just gonna let you go. I was just like, all right, you feeling it right now.
Hey, man, listen, I'm feeling it, but hey, anyway, we got some news right now. Doc is actually
news right now. Giants plays Daniel Jones on IR. He's out for the remainder of the season.
Shut down.
That's
how do you feel about it?
I think to me, like, I'm looking at the hits. I'm looking at the hit that Godwin took. He's out the rest of the season. How does the NFL fix this? And Tom's probably right. That's probably the end of his career. How does the NFL? How does the NFL find?
How bad was the hit?
It's a hit. He definitely got his clock cleaned on that. Because It's a neck injury. But how does the NFL find a way to have heads up tackling, have what's the word? Have the I don't want to say violent, but like almost how do you find a way to make football safely violent? That's the only way I can think to say it. How do you find a way to make football to where people are you're still getting hit, they're still able to make, because I heard Coach Wanstead say something last night when he was breaking down the Bears, and he said the intent of most of these players or the intent of pass rusher, he said, he was talking to Von Miller, has changed. He said Von went from talking about I want to kill the quarterback, I want to hit the quarterback, I want to get through, he got cleaned. Yeah, he down. He went from I want to hit the quarterback, I want to kill the quarterback, I want to take out the quarterback, to get to the ball. Get to the ball. And it changed the whole mindset for him. And so to me, like, I look at stuff like that because I'm going to be honest with you. The hit to Godwin is absolutely because of how the rule is stated. Because you're trying to get hits out like the one that Daniel Jones took.
Yeah.
How do you find that happy medium?
I look at Daniel Jones hit just now, and I'm like, man, listen, I didn't seen Fields take that hit several times this season.
Yeah. And Fields went into concussion protocol for a couple games as well.
I don't think you can. Let's be real fair here. We're talking about men who train, lift.
Yeah.
They equate getting hit by a car at 30 miles an hour.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, you can't fix that. You can't fix it. If you sit there and play it too safe, you still end up. It's a physical game. Freak accidents are going to happen.
Well,
it's going to happen.
To me, the problem is if you play, like if you take away being able to tackle, like of course you don't want the head and neck stuff, right? You don't want helmet to helmet. You don't want people that going through not PTSD. What is it? I can't think of it.
I know exactly what you mean. It slipped my mind too.
But you don't want people in their career dealing with stuff like that, with the head trauma and stuff like that. But when you say you can't tackle head up, when you say that you can't tackle when somebody's facing you straight up, when you say you can't lay that big hit, now you're causing players to adjust. Now you're going to see more ACL injuries. Now you're going to see teams losing major players, and it's because of the rule. Because if I hit Chris Godwin in the head, or not to say if I hit him in the head, if I hit him straight up and our helmets touch, I get a penalty.
But here's the problem, though.
If I blow his knees out, there's no.
But here's the problem: how many injuries have happened because of the rule? Versus how many?
I would say most of the ACL injuries we see that are contact happen because of the rule, because of somebody attacking someone's knee.
Versus
you bust a helmet into somebody's knee, is like it's only going to take it so much.
Versus how many people and players have suffered from CTE, which is what we're looking for. CTE, because of the head up contact. So here's the thing: you can't eliminate all risks.
No, right? And I don't think you should. It's football. It's a violent game. Now that's why I said, how do you make it violently safe?
I think you just have to play the odds. I think if they spend too much time trying to make these adjustments, you just make it worse from a fan experience. You make it harder for the players to do their job. It makes it confusing. And then at this instance, it does become the flag football league, right? So you can, it's an inherited risk because it's a physical game, and you just have to live with that. Now, would I rather you aim low as opposed to high? I personally think so, because I would rather that person or that individual, if I have to choose the two injuries, if I'm being honest, I'd rather you still have your motor skills and your speaking abilities later in life on a
Well,
crutch, as opposed to
let's
yeah,
let's
you're
also
physically capable but you're going crazy. Like I don't want those
yeah.
issues,
let's
right?
let's also remember too, like even if how they tackle now, if you're tackling heads up, it's different from how they were tackling in the 90s and early 2000s. In the early 2000s, people were using themselves as missiles.
Hey, I
They were
watched the
just
old
like, I'm
game.
gonna launch this piece of plastic into your helmet and
I
clear you.
I watched the old game and I was like, yeah, you can't do none of this now.
Dog,
This game don't even
hey, I
exist
think
now.
you sent it
Everybody's
to me.
ejected.
I think you sent it to me, and you was just like, man, everybody would be ejected in this game, dog. It was a game for, but like the that's what I'm looking at. Like, how do we find that happy medium? And what I mean by that is like, how do you make it so that it's okay to tackle heads up as long as you're not launching yourself into somebody? As long, because listen, we only care about it. Let's be real. We only care about it with receivers and quarterbacks because
Quarterbacks, yeah,
running backs drive their helmets into the defender all the time. Monty is king of it.
yeah.
Monty will drop his head and slam into you like he's a ram every single time. Um, we don't care about it with linemen. Every single play there's helmet to helmet. They're literally running into each other from this close.
That's true.
So let's stop with the fake, oh my God, we have to care about people's welfare, because the NFL doesn't. Let's stop with the fake, we have to care about, because really you only care about the offensive player being successful, because you don't care when an offensive player commits helmet to helmet for a defensive player. I think I've seen one call in 3 years on that. Like at least back in the day, like I'm not gonna lie to you, and it may not be the right attitude to have, but at least back in the day they were honest with you. It's football. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get concussions. That's
Now
football.
let's be honest though. A receiver in the air is as defenseless as you can get. And there's a lot of plays, especially from that game I sent you. Bro, people got murdered coming down with
It
that
was a game
ball.
from the 70s, wasn't it? Wasn't it like the Raiders versus the Browns in the 70s?
Dog. It went that clip. It was a series of clips. It went all
Yeah.
the way into the mid 90s, and I was just like, "Yeah, oh, that's bad." Like that. You can't even do that. And so the rule change for QBs, although I don't like how they go about it. Like I don't like the you can't drive the QB into the ground and stuff like that. Like if I'm coming at you to sack,
Nah, I like that.
that's if I'm
Drive.
coming at you for a sack and you get the ball at last minute, how my head is down. How do I
Now
know
that's
you got
different.
that ball out?
That's different. That's not driving. That's just you running into him a split second late. Driving is go look at how Jim McMahon's career basically ended.
Mm,
You pick him up and you slam him into the ground after you've already wrapped him up.
yeah, I saw that.
That's driving into him. That shouldn't be in the game. There's a lot of stuff from the 90s and early 2000s that should not be in the game. You know what I'm saying? Chris
Mm.
Conti launching himself into people, or what was my man's John that's out in
LT took out a lot of people. I don't know.
San Francisco's GM right now. I can't think of his name. Is it San Francisco's GM. You know how he played the game. Like that shouldn't be in the game. But let's stop with the fake outrage when we really only care about it for the premier players, and play the game. I don't think there should be a lot of stuff that you did back then that's in the game, but dog, like you're making it more dangerous for these receivers, for a lot of these players, for quarterbacks as well.
Yeah.
You're making it more dangerous for them. John Lynch, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Shout out to you, Tom. You're making it more dangerous for them because I can survive being tackled if somebody wraps me up and falls on me. Your knee can only take so many people slamming into it.
Like Cornelia said, so you get paid the big bucks. No one forces you to play. I agree. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the sport.
Yeah.
And it has improved. It has improved drastically as far as trying to protect the player and stuff like that. The only thing that's changed is that participation trophy babies come in wanting to make sure, oh, we got to do this. We got to do it. No, this is football. That's why I ain't play. You ain't hitting me like that. Hey, guess what? I had a choice: basketball, football. I stayed my punk behind on the hardwood. Guess what? The hardwood was where I am at because I don't want to get hit. I don't. I don't think that's fun. Y'all think that's fun? Crazy. Anyway, going to
it's just one of those things with like I get it at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? I get it how they've adjusted youth football. I get it going up through high school because it was like Muggs were coaching kids like they were in the NFL.
Youth football, I do not believe should be hit like full contact. I don't believe it should.
Depend on the age. You get to like 11, 12, you need to start learning how to hit because you're about to go to high school.
Yeah.
Just so you can do it the right way.
Yeah.
But there's a lot because, man, there's some youth leagues out here, boy, they be clearing mugs, dog.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I don't believe in that.
There's some youth leagues out here, boy. Hey, they got some dogs on the defensive end down there in the 8 and up league.
Man.
Was that a 6-year-old? Oh my God, he just killed that kid.
Hey, but speaking of like choices and like teams and kind of like bucking the system at this point, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Bruce Arians like basically saying, I don't give a crap what the critics think about keeping AB, which by the way, he has to keep AB at this point. So let's not make it seem as if he had a choice.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like he talking real big when he got 2 receivers down. Like
I was the reason that you were like, man, you should just drop AB. Man, you can't even use him. You can't use him either now. You can't use him either. That was he's going down with me.
And you know it hurt because Godwin is down. That was my
Godwin
guy.
is down. I said
is
he's
down.
going down with me.
God, it's gonna be a tough week. Godwin's down. Saquon might not play. I don't know, man. I'm in trouble.
Are you playing my brother?
I'm playing your brother.
Oof, yeah, you in trouble. And he got no, because he lost Evans.
He lost Evans.
So he lost a bit. He do got Tyreek though. So every point you score.
Hey, as long as someone doesn't pull like a snitch move and drop Kelsey, I'm good.
No, ain't nobody gonna drop at this point.
You'd be surprised. People do it.
But as far as keeping AB though, listen, AB can play. You want to know what the NFL is? You want to know what most of these sports league is? Can he play? To me, they were going to keep AB regardless. Because AB can change a game.
He's going to have another opportunity to do it now too.
He's a game-changing player. There's no Mike Evans. There's no Chris Godwin. AB's an excellent wide receiver.
Let's talk about
the head case. Yeah.
Let's talk about that now. No Godwin.
Yeah.
Evans is questionable, but it looks like he's not going to be able to play for the next couple of weeks, but he's questionable. Yeah. Godwin is out for the season, right? So fantasy alone, we know it's only one week, maybe 2, depending on your league, I guess. But for the rest of the season, you probably get Evans back for the playoffs, maybe. Godwin's done for the year. Well, they said he's done for the regular season.
No, Godwin's done. He tore his ACL.
Oh yeah, he's done.
He's done.
He's done. How does Tampa Bay look now? Like they look like a clear favorite to win. They were rolling.
You know what though? I feel like we've gotten to the point where teams have so much talent, or at least the Buccaneers do, that when they lose 2 major players, we don't think about the fact that they still have a ton of talent. And Tom Brady still gets to keep his 2 favorite people in AB and Gronk. Like, They're still the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At a minimum,
Yeah.
I think they'll be there. Like if I'm looking at the playoff race right now, if I'm looking at who I think is gonna end up going in,
I got Chiefs, baby.
I don't believe in the Packers.
I got Chiefs
because I've seen them do it. I've seen the Packers, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say I do believe in that Aaron Rodgers absolutely wants to go out of Green Bay with a dub so that he can separate himself from Brett Favre.
Why does everybody keep saying that he's leaving?
Dog, he might come back.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he really might come back.
He's having a decent season, good season. They're rolling. Things seem to be better there in Lambeau Field, which is bad news for us because I would love to get him out the conference or division or whatever. But I mean, they have no reason to not come to some type of agreement. He's not going to get the same star treatment. Like that team was built for him. He has a prime target. He has the best receiver in the league.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
like, you know what? Where is he going to go and get that?
You know what? I think that well, I mean, he could go to a lot of teams and do pretty well. You know, if he goes to Denver like they were speculating and stuff like that, Denver's already got that defense. They got a nice offensive line. You got Tim Patrick over there. You know, they got some nice pieces over there. Russ might be leaving out. Well, no, he don't want to go there because that offensive line is whoo. I was gonna say Russ might be leaving out of Seattle, which I'm not gonna lie to you. Ultimate kick in the groin. Russ probably signs with the Packers. Played at Wisconsin. You get Aaron Rodgers out and Russell Wilson comes in, who is just Aaron Rodgers again.
Hey, I'm still on the Rush train. If there's a chance, I will take this jersey and trade it. I'm sorry. I have that much faith in Russ. I do.
Nah. At this point, just because I don't have faith in anything else that's around Russ.
Hey, listen, Russ can play for another 10 years.
Not with this Bears offensive line.
We got QBs going into they're retiring and almost getting Social Security at this point in the league the way it's officiated. Guess what? He can play another 10 years. And I'll take this Russ right now. Right now.
Not with this offensive line and weapons.
You make a move for Russ, you're getting the offensive line.
Hey, look, they ain't got it yet, and they made a move for 2 quarterbacks.
Okay, they made a move for 2 rookie quarterbacks. They ain't got no plug.
Still should, if anything, those are the ones you want to protect most.
Ain't got no plug.
If anything, those are the ones you want to protect most.
The QB game is gonna be so different. Like I don't see him leaving. If he does leave, I think it'd be stupid because he's not going to get the same setup. But do you give up the best receiver? Do you give up playing with the best receiver in the game to go and try to get a ring or try to get a? Well, it's not even an easy. He's the best setup. It's the easiest division. He dominates the division.
Who's a great wide receiver? That's the reason they team won in the Super Bowl. Most great wide receivers don't end up winning Super Bowls.
Randy Moss, T.O., Ocho.
Lost.
I mean, Jerry Rice won.
Jerry Rice won.
Jerry Rice won. I mean, you make a great point.
You know what I'm saying? Like the reason
the big names don't necessarily
the big names don't, because they. I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like everybody's always like, it's because they demand the football. I'm like, yeah, but they catch it. It's like it's not like they're demanding the football and dropping it. That's why they're your best wide receiver. But I think that it makes more of a team game when you're able to spread it around more. And so to me.
But I mean, Godwin won. He's a good receiver.
Godwin's a good receiver. I don't know if he's up there with like greatest.
AB has one, and he definitely was the best in the league for a while. I mean,
AB got one just with time.
He got one though. Doesn't Chad have one though with the Patriots? No, he doesn't have one.
Chad got cut like 3 weeks in. He couldn't figure out the play call.
Oh well,
it was tough.
The play call should have been, "I'm open."
Yeah, it's not with Bill.
But Bill, I'm the
entire
best.
route tree, the branches off of the route tree, and the branches off of the route tree's branches. No,
Man, that's a good point. I gotta go look that up. I'm going to come back with that one. You hit me with that one. I don't have a good comeback with that.
I mean, you look at like the guys I look at, like Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was a really nice wide receiver. Michael Irvin also had the benefit of like the greatest offensive line protecting his quarterback ever. And also like throwing the football was new back then. that's what I always tell myself. I'd be like, must be like Troy Aikman was killing it. I'd be like, Troy had one of the best offensive lines, and nobody really cared because Emmitt Smith was behind him. And so you were worried about stopping the run. And Michael Irvin was on cocaine most of the time. So, you know, he was hyped up. Don't rub the nose after I say that, dog. Come on, what are you doing over there?
Hey, you know, a bump in the morning goes a long way. No, I'm just joking. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's still a joke. Yeah.
First of all, I don't even know why my nose tickled the moment you said that. I feel bad now. I was like, the heck was that? Like, oh man.
No, and AB's got one, you know what I'm saying? He said, Jay Martin in the chat early said P.kidd heard Coke and had a flashback.
Hey, listen.
He was like Gator from the other guys. It's like it got bad quick.
Got bad. Hey, I know J Martin ain't talking to his. Hey, so you want to talk about someone's Twitter that have you worried? J Martin be wild. Yeah. Anyway,
the fans is out on him, man. Stay safe out there, J Martin.
Hey,
but
man,
no, it's you know, like you usually don't see those wide receivers that you call the best in the NFL win a championship. I don't know why it is. Like I really don't. I don't have like
they end up on bad teams.
You said what?
Because normally they end up on bad teams.
Nah, T.O. was on great teams most of his career. T.O. played with Romo, and then he played with before that he played with
he played for the Cowboys.
That was with Romo.
I'm just saying
they were winning a lot. I mean, it's the Cowboys, but they were winning.
Cowboys. I mean, like, let's be honest. Chad played in Cincinnati.
He had it wasn't Dalton. Who was before Dalton? I can't think of his name. It starts with a C.
Carson Palmer?
Carson Palmer. He had Carson Palmer. Who did, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he? No, he went to Arizona. It was terrible. I had to think about that. That was Kurt Warner that went to the Super Bowl there.
Keyshawn was a good one.
Keyshawn got one. But y'all see how we're like kind of like picking like.
We're literally trying to find this.
We're trying to find these guys. You know what I'm saying?
We're trying to find it.
We're struggling at that. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's what tells you. Like, I bet you all of those teams that we even named right there, I don't even have to look at. I'll bet you they were a top defensive line, or they had a top offensive line, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. Where the pieces that matter. You do need guys on the outside that can catch, but if you have guys that can catch, they don't have to be the greatest guy that can catch of all time. They just got to be a guy that can catch sometimes.
I mean, Tom proved that 6 times.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wes Welker is not even talked about, and he was definitely a primary target for him for a long time.
And if we're being honest, Tom was going to Gronk.
Yeah.
T.O. had McNabb as well, although their relationship was weird. They never really liked each other. Like from day one, they didn't like each other, and they played for multiple seasons together.
That is wild.
Like literally, T.O. talks about going into the huddle the first play, and he was like, "Oh, Donovan, you missed me. You know, I was open on that." He said, "Hey, shut the fuck up." Look.
Dang. What that?
T.O. said he was coming from San Fran, and everybody was saying he's a problem, so he wasn't trying to be a problem. He didn't want to cause no issues, so he was coming in. He was like, "Yo, Donovan, I was open on that. You missed me. Shut the fuck
up." So you don't want me to clap back?
Like what?
So here's an interesting thing.
That's crazy that we really went down this rabbit hole just from that stat.
Hey,
or
it's
just
fine.
not even a stat, just for me saying that. Like, it's tough to find.
It's tough. It's real tough. But I still believe in today's day and age, his best chance is where he's at. His O-line protects him. His run game ain't bad.
That O-line is getting
It's getting older. Don't get me
older.
wrong. But
Gotta
guess what? We don't see too many highlights of the Aaron Rodgers getting popped. You want to know why? Because they hold it just enough. So
hey, no.
guess what?
Hey, no, because A-Rob getting rid of that
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
Hey,
That's true.
hey, Blitz and A-Rob don't matter. Send as many as you want. It's out within a second.
Hi, he did that on the Pat McAfee show. I know exactly where I'm going before they come.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know exactly what I'm getting it
Oh,
out. Boom. It's there. All right. So at this point, again, best chance to win is with the Packers. Now, if he just wants to do the Tom Brady thing and let his hair down, which he's already doing, and stuff like that, hey, more power to him. Hey, shake it up. I like it. I would love to see Russ in this division. Would love to see it. Absolutely. Hope he plays for the Bears. But I hope
J-Mar said McNabb talked to T.O. like he was the cleaning lady.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dog, just straight disrespect.
Hey,
But
but with the rumors of Russ potentially going to Los Vegas means that Derek Carr is up for grabs. So that could be a shift there. No one looks at Derek Carr like he's a stud.
if to me, if Aaron goes, he's gonna go to a team that's ready made for him. He's gonna go to a team not ready made. I shouldn't say that. He's gonna go to a team that already has the pieces there, and most of those teams have quarterbacks. But of course, you're willing to get rid of everybody to get Aaron Rodgers in there because I think Aaron Rodgers will play. What is he now? He's 33?
Aaron Rodgers 38, 39.
39, whatever. A little short. That's on me.
You missed it by that
That
much.
much. No, Russ is 33, right? I think
Russ is 33, I
Russ
believe.
is 33. But no, like Aaron Rodgers, to me, he probably plays 3-4 more years. And any team would definitely give up anything to get him in there for 3 or 4 years. Because you're going to have dominance for 3 or 4 years. Now, after that, you're going to have nothing. Like, it's one of those, it's like, I want to win now, and I think we have a team that can do it if we add Aaron Rodgers. And so I think that you'll see a huge quarterback shift around the NFL because he's going to go to a team that probably has a decent level quarterback.
Absolutely. I agree.
Now, the only one that would change it is if he goes to San Fran. Because you wouldn't have a huge shift there. Jimmy Garoppolo switching teams isn't a huge shift to me. It's a like another team's going to benefit from it, but it's not a.
Jimmy Garoppolo is going to then own the Bears for the next couple seasons because the team, like Jimmy, could do a lot of what Aaron does. Like Jimmy is another QB who everyone just looks like, hey.
You be putting Muggs in the same tier, and I don't get it. Jimmy can do a lot of what Aaron does.
Jimmy can do a lot of what Aaron does, just like Derek Carr can do a lot of what Aaron does, and the stats prove it. It just does.
Listen.
It just does. Listen.
There's nothing about Jimmy Garoppolo. There's nothing about Derek Carr that is anything close to what Aaron Rodgers does.
I think that's an overstatement.
You could say the numbers.
Mind you, listen, Aaron Rodgers is up here. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe those two QBs are that far behind as far as like how their teams are constructed. Like Aaron Rodgers has benefited from having a very well constructed team for a very long time. And you, for one, you've made the same argument. They've given him everything.
He got everything.
Hey, top receivers, top running game, good offensive line.
Yeah.
He's had that majority of his career.
Yeah.
Tell me how many times Derek Carr, Garoppolo have had that all at the same time. They've never had it at the same time. So I'm comparing someone who we got 1 or 2 seasons where he ran for his life. That's great. But outside of that, he's had this overarching good team and failed. So you can't sit there and say, look at the magic man Aaron Rodgers and what he can make out of nothing, and then be like, oh, but he also has the best running game and best receiver. Like, you can't have both.
Jimmy's had that though.
Jimmy's
had a great team around him out in San Francisco.
Got to a Super
Bowl. Lost.
He did lose.
He
got to a Super Bowl. Guess what? He's been to just as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers.
Listen. Yeah, but Aaron won. Actually, Aaron's been to 2. But
he's been to 2.
Aaron won his. But this is the thing with Aaron Rodgers. At no point are you relegating Aaron Rodgers to throwing 9 passes in a game because Aaron is Aaron.
I agree with Mr. Smith. Derek Carr can make every throw Aaron can. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, he can
wholeheartedly agree with that. The difference is,
he can make the throw. That don't mean it's gonna be completed. It's gonna be an interception. like, are we kidding? Right? Are y'all kidding me right now?
No, I'm not.
Are y'all kidding me right now?
I'm not.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not saying he's not better, but I'm saying it's not
but you put them in the same conversation as
the
Derek
margin. The margin between them. Like, we're not talking about Michael Jordan versus like John Starks. I don't believe that.
Michael Jordan versus John Starks, because Michael Jordan won 6 and Aaron Rodgers has won 1. That doesn't. We're
talking about level of skill set. Michael Jordan without rings is still one of the greatest players have ever played. He didn't have to have a ring to do that.
Who?
Michael Jordan without rings is still one of the greatest players to have ever touched the basketball, just from skill set alone. So I'm like, no, like, we're talking about skill set, not rings, especially in the game of football where there's so many other things like that. Like, your defense has to be good, really good as well. So, like, nah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. Here's the nuance that we keep forgetting. I never said he was better. I never said.
But you putting him in the conversation with him.
I said that he's not far.
Yes,
he's not far.
Yes, he is.
Not far.
Aaron is 30-4 this season. There's 4 games left.
Okay.
He was 48-5 last season. Derek Carr has thrown 9 interceptions in 1 year.
I got you.
What are we talking about? It's not close. It's not just about, does he have the arm to make the pass? Aaron Rodgers and Jay Cutler both have arms to make the pass. It's about being able to get the ball in there.
Let me ask you this. Receiving core. Where's the better receiving core?
Aaron just has Devontae Adams.
Who has the better receiving core?
I don't even know who the receivers are. Well,
proves my point. Who has a better offensive line?
Who has a better offensive line? The Packers' offensive line ain't great this year. So
who has a better offensive line?
I don't know. What's the numbers?
Who has it? We'll go to it. I say Green Bay. I say Green Bay has a better offensive line. Who has a better run?
I think Aaron makes his offensive line look a lot better because of how quickly he get that ball out of there and how quickly he makes a decision.
Again, who has the better run game?
Aaron. Well, no, is Aaron Jones back?
I don't believe so.
So, well, probably. I don't know. They both suck.
Let's be honest. Who has had the better team?
Oh, yeah, Packers also missing David Bakhtiari. Yeah, so he's out. Who's had the better team?
So outside of this season, Aaron has had the better team.
On the offensive line, though.
Aaron has had the better team. So, listen, Aaron can be the most talented QB. I don't care about that. The argument was, could he compete? Could he make the same type of throws? I believe he could. I didn't say
this is the difference. This is the difference. Name me the wide receivers on Green Bay.
Valdez, Scantley, Lazard, Adams. You're always
how many of those guys does Aaron Rodgers make better?
Does he make better?
Yeah. How many of those guys does Aaron put in a position to be successful? How many of those guys does Aaron consistent? We know their names. Put Valdez-Scantling on Oakland. We don't know who he is. He's the only reason I know Hunter Renfrow, one is because of fantasy, and two is because my boy was like, I'm a 5'11 white dude. All I got athletically in sports right now is Hunter Renfrow.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Why don't they win?
Now, that's a different topic. That's a different topic.
Why don't they win?
That to me is the better topic there. But if we're
because the argument for me is Derek Carr can go as far. He can make the same throws,
but he hasn't.
I don't care if he's not as active. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care if he's not. I truly believe Derek Carr with the same setup, can have just as much success. That's all I'm saying.
48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
What does that matter if you lose in the first round?
That still wins you the MVP.
What does that matter if you lose in the second round?
Aaron Rodgers was the MVP of the NFL. He was the best player in the NFL last season at 38.
Okay.
Derek Carr's never been the best player in the NFL ever. He's never even been the best quarterback in the NFL. He's not even the best at his position.
I hear you.
What are we talking about?
I never said that he was better. I said that he can make those throws. I believe it.
You said the margin is close, and the margin is not close.
I said I believe he can make those throws. Given the same opportunity and setup, I think he can make the throws.
Can he make the throws? Yeah.
I do. I believe he could.
Be completed passes?
No. You won't know.
No.
You won't know. It's one.
I can see him. No. I can see him.
You don't see it because the variables are different. You don't see it. That's a very unintelligent statement. You don't know. It's an improbable thing to even.
I can't see Derek Carr.
You can't see it because he's not in the same situation. You don't know.
See Derek Carr play football.
You do not know. No matter how many times you sit there and beat your chest and say,
we don't see Derek Carr play football.
We see him play football, but he's not in the same situation as Aaron Rodgers. He's not.
Okay.
And that's anybody that goes toe to toe with that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Stupid. He's not in the same situation.
He's not in the same situation. Does he make
his team all?
Does he make his team better?
I believe he does.
How?
I believe he does.
How?
Hey, listen.
Who's he made better?
Does he make his team better? He got 25 drives to say that if he didn't make those drives, they would have had losses.
He's got 25 game-winning drives. You know what? He's in a position where your team is
because Derek Carr doesn't play defense. Derek Carr doesn't play defense.
Hey,
you can't say that.
Hey, look.
You can't say that.
No, but
you're judging it like it's basketball and it's not.
No,
he plays one half of the field.
You know what I can say?
You can't do that.
Listen, you know what I can say? Derek Carr didn't do enough the entire game to put the game away.
I can say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers to get it done.
We know.
Why does the legendary QB only have one? He's the best player that ever played.
You can't switch the rings. I said we can't compare it like Jordan and Stockton, and you said this isn't about rings, this is about talent. Talent-wise, Derek Carr is not close.
Okay, do me a favor. Why doesn't he get it done when it matters?
Hey, listen, I'm with you on that. Aaron Rodgers absolutely doesn't get it done, but you know what? He's in a game that's contending to go to a Super Bowl. Derek Carr's not even getting out of the first round.
Aaron Rodgers is getting out the first round this year?
Yes, he's getting out of the first round this year. I give him that. Packers get some distance this year. They're going to lose. They're not going to make a Super Bowl. They're not going to make a Super Bowl.
Best receiver, better offensive line, better run game. And guess what you just said? The person with the most accuracy and all that stuff, guess what? They're going to lose. Come on.
Hey, listen. This is the thing, right? It's like I said with the Bulls.
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's like I said
who you ask. Aaron Rodgers is not the best player in the league.
The Bulls right now, to me, have a championship roster when everybody's healthy. That doesn't mean they have the best championship roster. Brooklyn's got a better championship level roster.
You see the two teams you just compared? You compared two ready-made teams. You know what this analogy would be better? If you compared the Wizards potentially versus the Nets. Why? Because that's how the setup is. If you compared the Wizards to the Nets, it would make more sense. But you compared the Bulls, best in the East, best backcourt, You use an analogy that I'm definitely gonna dominate in. You're like, and then you compare it to the Nets, who have 3 Hall of Famers.
Let's see.
It's not the same.
Let's see. So right now, nah, that's not it. I'm trying to see these offensive line rankings. Oh, here go. No,
and again, Jalen Martin, he gets there, right? Guess what? He's always going to make the playoffs with the best receiver, best offensive line. He has the best team in his division.
He's made the playoffs when the best guys were hurt too, though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's made the playoffs when guys. This is the thing.
I've seen him that season.
This is like I said yesterday.
Give him that season. Hey, listen, give him that season. I never take it away from him.
It's like I said yesterday. Let me ask you this.
Hey, by the way, I see you backtracking off that basketball analogy, because that was a horrible analogy.
No,
I saw that.
No, this is the thing.
I'm clipping that up.
The thing is, if Davante Adams leaves, I still 110% believe that the Packers can win if Aaron Rodgers is there.
If Davante Adams leaves, you believe?
If Davante Adams leaves, I 110% believe the Packers can still get.
You hit me with an interesting stat. The season he had 50 touchdowns, right? Davante Adams had 19. That is a little bit about 40%. So 40% of his targets are going to go away.
Yeah.
Right. And you believe he's going to still win?
Yes.
The only way he's going to still win is because he's still the best team in the division.
No, because he's still the best quarterback.
No, best team in the division.
He's still the best quarterback.
Hey, listen, best team in the division.
But you're saying it like they're not beating teams outside of their division. Of course he's the best team in the division. They're the class of the division. Are the Packers losing to teams outside of the division?
How many times he has to play? Everyone in our division plays twice, right?
Everybody in our division plays twice. So that
accounts for. So it's 4. That's
6 games.
That's 6 games.
There's 17 games left.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry. There's 11 games left. There's 17 games in total. There's 11 games left.
I got you.
And they're the best team in the NFL right now, standings wise.
I got you.
Like we're putting we can't look at guys and say if he's in this situation he would be just as good, because we've seen that never play out. And there's certain players that I could put him on your team and he could. I love how it's showing actually the Raiders on Get Up right now because they beat the Browns. And no cap, Derek Carr slinging it. Oh, nope, he got killed right there. But
again, better offensive line, better team.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Completely different situation.
Let me ask you this: if you put Aaron Rodgers on Oakland, is Oakland a better team?
Marginally, because Aaron Rodgers now, it's not the same Aaron Rodgers. That's okay though.
30-5 with 4 games left.
Aaron Rodgers
he's got an opportunity to finish the season.
Aaron Rodgers is 30-5 on the team constructed for him that protects him with the best receiver in the league, and he's a really complete team. You're still comparing apples to oranges. It's not the same. If you put him on the Raiders right now, he loses a lot of those targets. He loses the protection. It's not as complete of a team. Is he going to get wins? Of course he's going to get wins. Like you say, cream does rise to the top, but it's not going to look as pretty.
Oh, here we go.
So at this point, again, it's an improbable situation. You will never know. The only way you're going to know is you take Aaron Rodgers, let him leave after the season and go to a team that has to build around him and start from year 1. It's not going to happen. It's not going to look the same. Like, honestly, it's to continue it. It isn't a situation where you can actually compare.
Offensive line, boy, I tell you that much. Them Buzz Raiders down to 29th.
Dog. And again, bad offensive line, all of that stuff.
Bad.
And at the beginning of the season, we were talking about him slinging it. Then all of a sudden, they had injuries. They dealt with certain things. They had the whole coaching thing blew up. Like seriously, I'm not saying that he is better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying that, hey, given the same opportunity, there's a lot of QBs who could potentially have a much better career and make those throws. And he's already doing it on his team.
Yeah.
You keep saying, hey, the reason you are in the situation to have game-winning drives because of the position you put yourself. No, he doesn't play both ends of the field.
He doesn't play both ends of the field,
So
but
you can't say that.
Listen, this is
He can't stop the other team from scoring. The only thing he can control is, hey, when I have the ball, I have to do something with it. So he does something with it.
It's about you being able. Neither of us have seen every single drive, so we don't remember them off the top of hand. But here's the thing: it's just like when people said, "Oh, Mitch went on that game-winning drive to put the Bears up and win the game." That means something. What they omit from their mind is quarters 1 through 3 where he played terribly. And so it puts you in a position where you have to come back.
Okay. Give me a situation consistently where Derek Carr has been that player for the Raiders to have consistently put them behind the 8-ball like that.
Derek Carr's had seasons where he struggled to in the beginning of the game and absolutely come back at the end of the game. And I'm not saying that Derek Carr's a bad quarterback. No part of this argument is Derek Carr's terrible.
No, I get that.
The argument
the analogy you used, you said it with complete confidence, right? And you used Mitchell Trubisky. Great analogy. If we were talking about Justin Fields, but we're talking about a team in which the consensus says that it's not Derek Carr. Why? Because he's the reason they're winning games when given the right opportunity. But he doesn't play defense.
I'm talking about the situation, and remember this too. For as much as he doesn't play defense, it's not like he's had a struggle defense the entire time he's been in Oakland. We did get Khalil Mack from over there when he was in his prime.
Oh, so you took the best defender from them? And
no, now if you want to talk now, but we're talking about overall. We're talking about overall career. We're not just talking about this specific season. Because if we're talking about overall career, your argument's blown out of the water because Eric's been a way better quarterback than he's ever been.
In his career, Aaron Rodgers has had more successful seasons. I give you that. My argument is that Aaron has also benefited from having a better situation most of the time as well.
Aaron has had 3 40-plus touchdown seasons. Derek Carr does that in Green Bay. Derek Carr does that.
40-plus touchdown seasons? He had 3 of them.
3 40-plus touchdown seasons, and he could have a 4th this year, depending on how he finishes the season.
I love to see it. It's a great stat. No one's denying the fact that it's a great stat. I'm still saying that the situation for him is better. Does he get 40 TDs on the Raiders?
Yeah. Yes.
Does he get 40 TDs on the Raiders?
Yes.
No.
Yes. You know why? Because when you're that level of quarterback, people want to play with you. And the Raiders are a team that'll
moving the goalposts again. But
not
okay.
Really.
But okay.
It's not moving the goalpost at all.
Okay. Hey, listen.
Not moving the goalpost at all.
You know the interesting thing is the 40 TD still means nothing. Tom Brady's the most winningest QB, the best player we've ever seen. And how many 40 TD seasons does he have? And he definitely has a better team than Derek Carr. And you can say he has a better team than Aaron Rodgers.
Winning Super Bowls is hard. Good job.
No. Winning games.
Winning Super Bowls is hard.
Games. He wins more games than Aaron Rodgers. He has more winning games than Aaron Rodgers.
Talk about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. So all I'm saying, I'm using an analogy.
You're talking about the greatest quarterback of all time.
I'm using an analogy of a seasoned QB who has a good offensive line, a good receiving core, and a good run game. And I'm comparing them to a similar situation as Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm doing. You can use the GOAT and everything like that. I'm comparing apples to apples for once, not apples to oranges. And when you compare apples to apples, Aaron Rodgers technically on paper outperforms Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's the better quarterback.
Okay. So guess what? The TDs are empty calories at a certain point.
Wow.
Just like Russ's triple doubles are empty calorie at a certain point.
The fam.
See, they could be empty calories if it doesn't translate to actually taking it far.
This is why 2021 is a wild time, because we look at winning a championship like you're supposed to, like it's the easiest thing in the world. Tom
No, I
Brady
look at
is really
winning a
made y'all think
championship when you have a
Tom
team built for
Tom
you as a
Brady.
necessity.
How
If
many
you're gonna be get
how many great QBs don't have rings?
name
Dan
one.
Marino don't have a ring.
Okay.
How many great QBs got one ring? Tom Brady is an anomaly.
I'm not comparing Tom Brady's 6 rings. I'm comparing the fact that he's in an
No, but
apples to apples situation.
what you're
He's
saying
in an
is
apples. Is he not in an apples to apples
what you're
situation?
saying is the fact that Aaron Rodgers throws touchdowns.
Is he not in an apples to apples situation?
What you're saying is the fact that Aaron Rodgers throws touchdowns is not impressive.
Let's remove it. Let's remove it. I compare Aaron Rodgers to Drew Brees.
Okay.
That's a very apples to apples situation.
Okay.
Right? Drew Brees, captain check down.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got it done. But why didn't? But again, better O-line, better receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
It's a better situation than the player that we compared. He only has one.
Because winning Super Bowls
Do you
is
see? No,
hard,
it's not
kid.
about. No. You sit there and said, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers is the most accurate. This, that, and the other." Well, technically, statistically, it's Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, right? Those two, right? But they're all in a better situation than the QBs you compared them to. And all I said was, if given an opportunity in an apples to apples situation, I don't believe Derek Carr would fare badly. I don't.
I didn't say he'd fare badly. I don't
And so
think
in this situation, you're like
he's
Derek Carr
close
doesn't
to
move
Aaron
Green
Rodgers.
Bay. Yeah, they Garoppolo, Green Bay still be the best in our division.
Of course.
Derek Carr still be the best in our division.
Of course.
Guess what? They could still potentially get to one Super Bowl. At that point, it's be no different than having Aaron Rodgers. Guess what? Because the end result was the same.
Yes.
From a team perspective.
But are we talking about now it's become rings? Are we talking about talent or are we talking about rings? What are we talking?
If you say he's the most talented QB, sure. Sure. I personally believe the most talented QB is not playing.
Okay. So even so, if he
I personally believe that most talented QB has 22 cases against him.
Are we talking about rings or are we talking about talent?
Because
I know scrub QBs with rings. Joe Flacco's got a ring.
Joe Flacco had an elite year.
Joe Flacco had an elite playoff run.
Hey, no, he had an
elite year.
Hey,
Joe Flacco had an elite playoff run.
He didn't. He didn't do it continuously, but
you know what he did? And you know what he did?
Was elite that year.
He had a great defense and he had an elite playoff run. And you know what he did? He rolled the back of that defense all the way to a ring. I love it.
Do you realize how much of that statement proves my point?
You know what destroyed Baltimore for a couple years? That they overpaid him.
Hey, do you know how much of that statement proves my point?
Proves what point?
You said he had an elite defense that he rode, right? Okay. Aaron Rodgers in the last 10 years? How many times has he had a really bad defense?
Most of them.
That's not true.
Most of them. Aaron Rodgers had a lot of great defense as well.
That's not true. Look it up. That's not true. At that point, there's no need to continue because that's not true. That's just cap. That's just cap.
Look it up.
That's cap.
Look it up. Hey, listen, I got a whole nother hour to go, dog. Look it up. Look it up. You tell me how many elite defenses the Packers have had in the last 10 years.
Including no.
In the last 10 years. Tell me how many elite defenses the Packers have had.
I said how many bad defenses he had.
No, you said how many of the
how many bad defenses has he had?
Bad defenses has he had?
What's considered a bad defense, by the way? Before we bottom 15.
How many
bottom? I don't have to look that up. I've already know that stat. He hasn't had a bottom 15 defense majority of the last decade. I already know that. You can look it up for me. Let me know. Tell me the years. I think 2014 specifically. I remember that being because we talked about this. We talked about this because we were trying to figure out how many years he beat the Bears. And we were like, well, how many times did we have the opportunity to score against him? He was like, well, he had a better defense. We had this whole argument on the show before.
Let's see.
How many years has he had a bottom 15 defense?
Overall rank.
Not many.
Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Last 10 years.
I gotta start drinking espresso with you because this green tea ain't working.
Hey, listen, I don't know why you did that to yourself.
Well, listen, man.
So since 2011, trying to see where's the ranking. I can't tell if it's the offense or the defense. Got to be the defense. 17, 9, 8, 6, 19, 16, 27th, 14th, 16th, 6, and 8.
So is it even? Was it 5 and 5?
Based on this, yeah, 5 and 5.
Okay. So the majority of the season, he's had a bottom.
That's they rank. Hold on. Okay, hold on. No, I read the wrong thing. I'm sorry. That was they rank points wise. Overall defensive ranking. Whoo! Yeah, you lost, dog. Yeah.
Overall defense, I lost?
Yeah, no, you lost.
I lost it.
I don't know. You was trying to be confident with it, and I love it. I love how confident you were trying to be with it.
Hey, listen, I pivoted just like you pivoted off that Bulls and Nets
analogy. No, ain't no pivot on 32, 11, 25, 15, 15, 22, 22, 18, 9, and 8. Aaron still won. Stop playing. Stop playing. Hold up. Would you like the records from those seasons with those terrible defenses? Terrible defenses. And I'm really sitting here defending a Packer, by the way, which is really pissing me off. But doggone, you got me going.
No, you having fun with
the records with those defenses to say Aaron Rodgers would have done this 10-6. He won a Super Bowl that season. 15-1, 11-5, 8-7. How'd that work? Is that math right?
It's 15.
That's 15. Okay. Wait,
what?
That's a game short. No, yeah, we played 16 games.
8-7?
Oh, 8-7-1. Oh, okay. I tweaked. They tied. Still first in the division, which really
dog. I'm about to say, I was like, please don't get this math wrong.
No. Hey, look, which really tells me we were really bad. They still got first place in the division, 8-7-1, 12-4, 10-6, 10-6, 7-9. They got third that year. That was the year the Bears actually was winning. Oh no, never mind. That was that might have been Minnesota that year. 6-9. That might have been 6-9-1. What year was that? Oh, that was the Bears year. Did Aaron get hurt that year? Something happened that year. Because it was us in Minnesota.
What year was it?
2018. That was the year where we were good. Something happened that year where I think they lost Aaron for a little while that year. And then 13-3, 13-3, 11-3.
I mean, I look up the season. The first thing I see is I think it got to be a preseason game. It has to be a preseason game. Please tell me that's it. First thing I saw was Lions beat the Packers 31-0. I was about to say, yeah, that's a preseason game.
Like he's this is the thing, right? The argument here is not that one is a bad quarterback. The argument here is that Aaron Rodgers can overcome whatever situation you put him in, and he's going to win.
Until he gets to the playoffs. I got you.
Until he gets to the playoffs, but that's not where the argument started at.
The argument for me started with, because we spoke about defensive ratings, which is cool. You can say that Derek Carr's had the best defense. Cool. I give you that. I can relate to that one. Has nothing to do with everything else that I named, which everyone has. The general consensus is everything else was spot on. Like, it's a different situation.
It is a different situation, but what I'm saying,
you can't say that Aaron Rodgers is a complete reason why. Like, no, you can't, because if Aaron Rodgers is under pressure, look real mortal. And guess what? Derek Carr is always under pressure.
Hey, listen. What Aaron Rodgers you been watching? Aaron Rodgers been under pressure all season because all you can do is either blitz or send 42 people to stand in the backfield. And when you blitz Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks because Drew Brees left the NFL.
And again, you know what helps with that? You have one of the best receiving cores in the game. You can do that. You realize how all of this stuff
one of the best receiving cores in the game. He absolutely doesn't.
Okay, who does?
He absolutely doesn't. Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard. Come on, dog.
Okay. Give me the top 5 receiving cores in the game.
Your best receiving core, you're probably looking at
so Tom has the best.
It's hurt now, but Tom had one.
Tom has the best.
You're probably looking at Arizona 2.
You don't get far before you get down to Aaron Rodgers, dog. I don't care what you say.
It's definitely not top 5 at all. We're talking about impact wide receivers.
Okay.
We're talking about impact wide receivers. Are we? I'm trying to think of all the wide
Raiders
receivers.
been a bottom 5 defense for the past 5 years. Well, Cornelius, you would know as a resident Raiders fan.
Raiders have been a bottom 5 defense the last 10 years.
Rams. I was gonna say Rams. Oh, they
Rams
definitely
is in there.
Rams
is in there.
That's 3.
Seattle, is Lockett back?
No, DK. Come on now.
DK and Lockett.
No. Hey, listen, I bet the farm on DK. I know this to be true. You know how many games I lost because DK gave me 1 point? No.
Hey, is DK bad in fantasy or is he bad in real life? Those are 2 different things.
He's bad in real life right now. Okay. He's bad in real life. Okay.
Let me see. Let's go through it. Oh, of course, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Kansas City.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Listen, just because Pat Mahomes been playing bad for you don't mean they don't got a great receiving core.
No. Hey, again, someone has to throw, someone has to catch. When you're dropping the passes, nah. So, hey, I give you 4.
I take Minnesota's receiving core.
Hell no. But okay, I give you 5. Ain't no way in the world. You tweaking.
Thielen and Jefferson.
You tweaking, dog.
How am I tweaking?
Hey, okay. Hey, listen. I give you 5.
Off the top.
I give you 5. It's like, how many teams is it?
Oh, San Francisco, absolutely. They got Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk.
I don't agree with that. The Minnesota one.
Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle.
No, I said I don't agree with the Minnesota one, but I give you 6. I give you a complete 6.
I like Jefferson, Ayuk, or Jefferson, Thielen, and Conklin.
You want to say Bengals? I like the Bengals. You want to get Bengals?
Bengals do got a dog. Bengals got a deep receiving core too. Yeah, dog. We getting pretty far before we even get close to a Packers.
No, we're not, because the next 2 teams is going to be a Packers.
I don't know who ranked this. Pro Football Focus be tweaking sometimes, dog. Pro Football Focus absolutely be tweaking.
That's 7 with 2 teams I disagree with. So that's 7 with 2 teams I disagree with.
You said they were a top 5 receiving core.
I said that's 7 with 2 teams I disagree with. So I would
still 5, and the Packers aren't in there.
So 6, sure, top 6.
Who are the 2 you disagree with?
I don't think Minnesota has a better what's the name than them. I don't think so.
Who on minus Devontae Adams? Who on that team is better than Justin Jefferson? Valdez-Scantling and Lazard absolutely are not. Robert Tunyon's not even healthy.
Just because Adams is that good, he gets the most targets. He comes down with the most.
So Adams and Jefferson.
Here's the thing with it, and we've seen it in multiple games. You can't shut down Adams, because when he does go to Scantling, it's like, okay, like fantasies. We even had it on Fantasy Whispers. He becomes this target that brings down all these catches. Then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, now we got to do something here. And
he becomes a target that gets a lot of targets. The problem with Scantling is he doesn't bring down a lot of catches. The problem with Scantling is he'll get targeted 12 times and bring down 5 of
them. Why are you calling me doing a live? All right. Like, but you see me online.
No, like I look at, like, I mean, like, let's be real. Who's is Scantling or Lazard better than Thielen?
No, I wouldn't say he's better.
So that's
but
what
I would say that the gap between Thielen and Adams is so wide that the entire receiver, like, honestly, Lazard, the way he picked us apart with Lazard.
But we're saying, are we saying a better core? Or are we saying a better receiver? Devontae Adams is the class of the NFL. He took over as best receiver in the NFL this season. He did, because they don't even use D-Hop at all. They basically were just like, you said who?
Who don't use D-Hop? No, they don't.
Cardinals.
They don't.
Hey, D-Hop just be running and jumping. D-Hop out there getting active.
Now, hey, listen, you want to talk about putting him on a team? Put Aaron Rodgers on that team. Still be in a similar situation.
Oh my God. Well,
better he'd be in a better situation than the player we compared him to.
No, because there's no way Aaron Rodgers would have lost to Detroit. There's no way with that team Aaron Rodgers would have lost to Detroit. And you know Aaron Rodgers is gonna be like, hey, so DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver on this team, and y'all don't throw the ball to him? What's up with that? like, nah, dog. Nah, dog. Hey, Chargers is kind of decent. Chargers offensive receiving core is decent too.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's done a better job staying healthy this year, but he struggles to stay healthy.
Yeah. He's out. He's injured now. Well,
is
he? I would know. He's on my fantasy team. I need to keep
Brandon. Hey, listen. Hey, we didn't win, but we took a lot of y'all out on the way.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm about to get blown out this last game.
We didn't win the game, but we took a lot of y'all out.
Oh no, he's good. He's healthy.
But nah, I just to me, I love how this turned into a 40. That's really how this show is, dog. Like, we're really sitting here just chopping it up. We're having good conversation. We're creating good debate. That's why I love this show, dog, because this started on Derek Carr could be close to Aaron Rodgers. You know what it was, though? My pops called me yesterday. Let me tell you exactly what it was. My pops called me yesterday. And he was talking about how you said Ben Simmons could be like Magic Johnson. And he was losing his mind.
And I said could be.
Hey, listen, he was losing his mind. He was like, Kidd just be saying stuff sometimes. And it'd just be like, that's not even a close comparison. So when you compare Derek to Aaron today, I had to go at you.
Hey, respectfully to Pops, the statement was Ben Simmons has the potential to be the next Magic Johnson from the simple fact that he's 6'11", he's a point guard who has the same skill set.
Hey, if we going off of that,
I never said that he was on the same level or anything like that. Magic Johnson has been winning since his name is Magic, for God's sake.
Hey, listen, you don't even call him
his
by
name.
His real name. You don't even call him by his real name. I wish somebody would talk about Irving Johnson and again.
I'd be like, who was that? Like, if you say Irvin, it's disrespectful. That's that man's his mama named Irvin. We don't call him Irvin. All right. So like no, it's not even.
I love that his mom hates that nickname too. Like, why they calling you Magic? You don't sound good. It's like, your name is Irvin. Why they calling you Magic? It's just such a mom thing to do.
Hey, Magic sounds so much better though.
It does. Irvin is tough. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Irvin is tough for me. I have a tough time calling him Irving Johnson. But no,
what's his nickname? Earl.
Hey, listen. You know what it was?
Like, his nickname be Earl.
When he said it, it was how my dad said it, right? So he called me. He was talking about the show yesterday. He's like, "Y'all did a good show." He's like, "Hey," he said 2 things I want to comment on the show. One, I don't know if Kidd got to get up 5 minutes earlier or what. He got to wake up. He's like, it's morning radio. Y'all got to wake up. He's like, you were up, but Kidd is definitely not awake.
He said, listen, I'm not a morning person at all.
He said 2, he got to just stop saying stuff, man. I don't know. He's got to put down the drugs. Like,
dang, Pop, I gotta put down drugs now.
Hey, listen, you did wipe your nose when I brought up Michael Irving and cocaine. So I mean,
hey, listen, it was a tough time. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that was I'm talking about. I really sat there and I was just cracking up because I was like, yeah, Pop. He sometimes Kidd just be like, he'll say something and I get what he means. But if you just listening to it, you'll be like, did he just compare Ben Simmons to Magic Johnson? But I get what you were saying. Like, his build should be what Magic was able to do. And with his skill set, if he could score at all, he would put up similar numbers to Magic.
I stand by this statement. Is Magic the better PG? Absolutely. Best PG I've ever played, right?
Yeah, he definitely is.
Best PG to ever play.
Extra too. Y'all ever watch Magic Johnson highlights? He was doing stuff for no reason.
For no reason, right? But
Why?
if you
Nobody was guarding you.
Out of all the people we've compared to Magic, outside of LeBron,
yeah,
the only other person who had a good opportunity to be that person was Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons had a good season or two where we were literally saying, I didn't say it, national media said it. It's it's not just like, oh, P.kidd just pulled that something out of thin air. No, it was the real narrative. He had the real potential to do that. Now, it ain't worked out at all, right? But all I'm saying is that potential was there. And so with that being said, I'm just repeating what the narrative was. All right. So do I personally believe it? No, absolutely not. Right. So you got to take it for face value at a certain point, because no, we ain't never seen another 6'11" guy who's running point the way he was, who had the potential to even come in contact with being the best point guard.
We really never have.
Never.
Really never seen another Magic Johnson. I'm really trying to think of another. Like 6'11", okay, I'll take 6'9", I'll take 6'10". Like a couple inches, it matter, but it don't matter. But I'm really trying to.
LeBron was the closest.
Like who's a tall guard? Like Lonzo kind of tall, but 6'7" is very different from 6'11".
LeBron was the closest, dog. Statistically, he was the closest.
And even that's 6'9". Well, I guess that's 6. What is
Magic 6'9"? Magic 6'9".
Is Magic 6'9"?
Yeah, he's 6'9".
Oh. Okay.
But how many 6'9" point guards do we have we ever seen?
I'm really trying to think of one.
Ben Simmons. like let's not even cap.
Michael Carter Williams
6'7".
Michael Carter Williams.
P.kidd was 6'7" and not built like Magic.
Talking about a rookie of the year that it was just like, man, we drafted nobody in the NBA this year.
Damn.
That's gotta be one of the worst rookie classes of all time.
But he had one of the best rookie games of all time, though.
Oh yeah, his first game in the NBA was ridiculous. It was like
he almost got a quadruple double one of that season.
He got it, or no, he came up one short on the steals.
Like that.
Yeah. He had like 9 steals. Giannis can run points sometime. Nah, Giannis can run point. I'm not saying none of that, but that's not Magic Johnson-esque. Giannis is like Shaq running point.
Do me a favor.
Good one.
This is homework for everybody that's listening. Go back to Ben's second and third year. Pick a game. Pick one of his best games. Like pick one of his best games, second or third year, and listen to the commentary. You're gonna hear him say it. You're gonna hear him say it. Do I agree with it? No. But the same way I broke it down was the same way it was presented. I was just like,
listen, this is the thing. We can't be breaking down them dumb narratives on the show like
that. But listen, it's one of those narratives where, again, the potential was there.
Let me tell you this. I literally just Googled 6'9" point guards. Hey, it's bad. Magic Johnson, Kyle Anderson, that's a drop off. Sun Yu, I don't know who that is. Boris Diaw. They got Evan Turner on here. Was Evan Turner a point? Evan Turner, I guess he was technically. Evan Turner was a weird 2. Like he couldn't shoot, but he was a 2 guard. It was weird. You know what? Nah, he wasn't that kind of player. Sean Livingston.
Ron Harper was like 6'9". Ron Harper was like 6'4".
Ron Harper 6'6". He's on the list. Penny Hardaway 6'7". Fam, we really don't got another one, dog. That's crazy. It's literally Ben Simmons is the tallest. Kyle Anderson is whack. Woo! Hey, look. Hey, here's a point guard for you. He's made 2 appearances on this show. Yuta Watanabe. 6'9". I bet you Magic wouldn't have been on the other side of that poster.
Hey.
That's interesting, dog. That's a really interesting stat. That's different. Magic was so different. And he played center. just like, nah, I got it. Don't worry about it. Who we missing? Kareem?
Penny is 6'7", by the way.
Who? Penny is 6'7". Yeah, Penny is 6'7".
Penny is 6'7". I keep saying that name a lot. Penny is 6'7". So like, hey, listen.
That's different. And Penny was a different kind of guard anyway. Penny was a scoring guard.
At that position, guess what? It's very slim picking. So when you see someone come in at 6'9", who has the potential to do that, that's the only person they can compare him to. So again,
hey,
could he come close? No, Magic was in a league of his own because he could just create and he had that flash. But Ben was absolutely diming people up.
Hey, he a lot closer to Utah than he is the Magic. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, listen.
You want to talk about a gap? We talked about a gap between Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. You want to talk about a gap? The gap between Ben Simmons and Magic Johnson is a valley.
I tell you what, I've overstayed my time. I hate to run on that one.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it. As always, man, we appreciate Kidd for rocking with us this long, man. Y'all gonna have to deal with me for the next 30 minutes, man. But listen.
And those apples to oranges takes right there.
Trying to get in here just before you leave. P.kidd, how about your boy Kobe White? He gave him his props, Shay.
Oh, yeah, 24 points. A good game. Hey, guess what? Hey,
look,
do it again.
Do it again.
Hey, you're just auditioning for your next opportunity. I holler at y'all, man.
All right, kid. We'll holler at you, man.
Yes, sir.
And as always, man, like I said, y'all got me here till 9 o'clock. We got about 30 minutes left. I love that debate, man. I love that debate. I love debating with Kidd. That's why I have my boy on the show. It's always interesting to me to see like the difference, because especially with like Tracy McGrady's a good one. I wish we had dropped that, but Tracy was a 2. Tracy was a 2. He was really a 3, but he was playing the 2. I really like how we brought up, that kind of thinking where, is Derek Carr even close to Aaron Rodgers talent-wise? Because there's a lot of people, I'm sure there's a lot of people in this chat that agree with Kidd. I'm sure that there's a lot of people in this chat that think that Aaron Rodgers talent-wise is on a similar level as a lot of these guys, and he's not. It's Magic Johnson to Ben Simmons. It really is. And I hate to be on here. Listen, you know me. I'm Bear Don. I'm sitting here with a Bears chain on. The irony of that, I'm sitting here with a Bears chain on, arguing for Aaron freaking Rodgers. By the way, if y'all want to cop some of this Breeze merch, some of this Bears merch, the Windy City merch, man, that's the link right there, twcbreeze.com. We appreciate that love. I'm sitting here with a Bears chain on, arguing for Aaron Rodgers. The irony of this. And I hate it. But I'm not going to let... I'm not going to let this show be we're going to give out the participation trophy. As much as Kidd talks about the participation trophy, that's participation. Derek Carr's not a bad quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. But in the NFL, it's really hard to win Super Bowls. And so to me, I don't measure the talent of a quarterback based off of the Super Bowl. I measure the talent of a quarterback based off what he does. Now, here's the caveat. Aaron Rodgers absolutely is a guy that if he is if we're going to hold somebody accountable for the reason that the Packers didn't go to the Super Bowl last year, that's on Aaron. Defense gave you the ball 3 times. You didn't do enough. Was it 3 times, 2 times, something like that? You didn't do enough with it. But let's not get it twisted that he is absolutely the class of the quarterback position out here. And then I gotta run through stats where I'm just like, wow, this guy's really good, and the Bears are really sitting here at the bottom yet again. Cornelius said Derek Carr is a top 10 QB. Okay, I'll give him that. Sure. I don't know. I don't 10. Maybe. I could get I'm fine with that. But let's not get it twisted. Aaron is 1 or 2 every single season. And most of them he's been 1. It's fine. I'm fine with you. It's like we brought up with Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fine with you saying that Jimmy G is a nice quarterback, but let's not get it twisted. There's a ceiling with those guys. There's a ceiling with the Jimmy G's of the world, the who else am I thinking? The Jimmy G's of the world. There's a ceiling with Derek Carr. There's a ceiling with, like, you have to put, like he said, if you put that team around him, are they better? Yeah. He got better players. But I could put Aaron Rodgers on any team in the NFL, and your team's better. I could put him on the Bears with this trash offensive line, and it would be better. Because he gets rid of the ball quickly enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, winning playoff games, winning Super Bowls, that is hard to do. Don't let Tom Brady make you think this is an easy job. Don't let Tom Brady make you think that winning Super Bowls is simple, is easy. It's not. It never has been. It never has been. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the class of the NFL. That's why he's that level. And don't get it twisted. Greatest quarterback of all time is absolutely Tom Brady and not Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers isn't close on that list. But it's because of what Tom Brady's been able to accomplish finishing the season. That's crazy, dog. We really had a whole conversation on Aaron Rodgers, man. Let's talk about something I love, man. Let's get back to it, man, because I did say I wanted to bring up some positives from last night's game. And I wanted to save it for this because this is the moment where I kind of just get to chop it up with the chat. To me, when I look at this team, this Bears team, I'm talking, of course, Berdan. I really want to know who's evaluating these guys because the secondary that we saw last night absolutely looked competent versus one of the best wide receivers in the NFL and a pretty good quarterback who's able to give him the ball. I'm not a believer in Kirk Cousins helping you win long term. Kirk Cousins is another one with the Jimmy G's, the Derek Carrs. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys that I put him in, that ranking that I put him in, kind of like there's a ceiling to what these guys can do. But what you saw from that secondary last night was beautiful. They were flying to the ball. They were attacking the ball. And here's the thing, right? Same as with Kobe White. It was a game. Can they do it long term? Is this a game plan you can put in long term? Are there guys on there that you can find? But I'll tell you this, at a minimum, at least for one game versus one of the best in the league, I saw players out there that were absolutely better than Kendall Vildor. Who's evaluating the talent? Who said Kendall Vildor was your 2 the entire year when I see these guys come out and put together a heck of a game? And here's the tough part that you've gotta add into it. Listen, at a minimum, y'all know how I feel. At a minimum, Pace should be gone for keeping Nagy this long because he's been allowed to ruin a lot of what he wants to do. But that's talent Pace picked. Now, is it going to be good long term? Is it going to be able to get to that next level? Is it going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things that you absolutely have to look at that. Let me see if it's consistent, because we know Pace is quick to oh God, they were good. Pay them their money. They were good. Let's give this like AK's doing with Alfonso McKinney. You know, let's see how it lasts for about a few weeks here. To me, those guys did enough to absolutely stay off of the practice squad. And I'll say this, and I put this picture up earlier. A change of culture around the Bears, and this team could be better than what we think sooner than we think. And I want to show y'all this. I showed this picture earlier in the show. I'm going to show it again. Here's my problem with the Bears right here. Here's my problem with the Bears right here. Take that off. Oh, it didn't mean nothing. All right, cool. Here's my problem with the Bears right here. Look how many Packers jerseys are there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, Packers, Vikings jerseys. We got 7 Vikings in the picture here. 7 Vikings in the picture here. The only one who decided to stand up for your quarterback that took a knee to the head is Tevin Jenkins, who's the rookie. And Cody Whitehair's running in there to kind of push with him a little bit, coming in a little bit later. All right, nice there. That's a culture problem. Jermaine Ifedi runs over to yell at the rookie after that. That's a culture problem. That you're okay with your quarterback getting his head kicked in. That's a culture problem. That you're okay with the penalties. That you're okay with the dumb penalties. That there's no repercussion for making a stupid play. Travis Gibson going over there to jaw at the guy, give him a little eye after making a big play to get off of the field. There's no discipline. And so I think that a culture change absolutely could change how this team plays. I don't know if the talent's in the room. I don't believe it is. I think that at least on the offensive line, I've been told by people that have played the game that know much better than me, James Daniels is really good. They're hoping Tevin Jenkins is that same way. Hopefully Tevin Jenkins is. Cody Whitehair's a piece, but he's not. He's kind of coming to that down, that little. He's on that decline to me a little bit, and we know that the other guys suck. But the problem that I see is that from what I've seen, I've seen a lot of teams win through having maybe not the greatest talent on the field. I've seen teams that are able to win with not having the greatest talent on the field, where, yes, there's some talent there, but there is an amazing talent there. I've never seen a team win that doesn't have somewhat of a chemistry to protect the guy or to roll with the guy or to watch the guys who are next to me. I've never seen a team win like that. Because when you have the camaraderie, when you have the I have to make sure that he's doing well and he's doing well because they're going to make sure I'm doing well, when you have that, guess what happens then? Then on defense, you've got guys who are making plays for you if you fall short. Then you have guys who are in the right position because they know if they get out of position trying to make a big play, that it's going to screw you over. So I'm going to stay in my spot. I'm going to stay in my spot, and I'm going to do what I have to do to so that I've seen teams with talent that is mediocre win. Not win Super Bowls, but win. This is a team that's undisciplined. This is a team that has no camaraderie. This is a team, and when you don't have that camaraderie, there is no chemistry. When you don't have that camaraderie, there is no chemistry. And they don't have that camaraderie. They don't have the camaraderie to protect. Fam, I would have had every offensive lineman in that room. I'd have been laying into him. Why is the rookie the only one? Why is the rookie the only one who stood up for your franchise quarterback? Why? That's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. And so, to me, that showed me last night. Last night was the first time I left that game, even though they end up losing, I left that game feeling good. Because it showed me that a culture change in the building really could change everything. It showed me that a culture change in the building. Now, of course, you're going to need coaches that can still put your team in a good position. You're going to need coaches that can still put your team in a position to be successful, that can put your quarterback in a position where he's able to come out and play the game well, that can put your defense in a position where those things are all true. And you have to find that right guy. But I'll tell you this, I've seen those mediocre teams win games. I'm not asking you to make the Super Bowl right now. I would love it, but I'm not asking you to make the Super Bowl right now. I'm asking you to win. Don't be 4-10. Don't be one of the worst teams in the NFL. You can't win. You can't win games where you have the better talent. The Bears are struggling to win games where they're actually the better team on paper. That's wild. That is wild. And so to me, I look at that as I look at that situation as like I left last night's game and I said, you know what? I'm not mad at what we saw here. I'm not mad at because to me, I see Justin has talent. Does that mean he's going to be the greatest quarterback? I think you found your franchise quarterback. I believe that. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. I believe a lot of things. That don't mean they always happen. But I'm looking at what Justin's doing on the field, and I believe that he has all the intangibles to be a good quarterback. I believe that Darnell Mooney can be a good wide receiver. I don't know if he's your number one. You might have to go get a number one, but I believe that Darnell Mooney's a good wide receiver. I believe that David Montgomery's a good running back. And I think that those are three key pieces to have moving into next season. How do you figure out the offensive line situation? You're hoping that Tevin's healthy. He's able to step in there. That brings a little stability to you at left tackle. Levante says in the comments, shout out to all the people in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in and rocked with us throughout the morning, man. We've had a fun morning. It's been a fun 3 hours. Make sure that y'all, at a minimum, share the video with people. Let them know that we're doing this morning show thing. We're the new morning show on the block so far. I think we did decent numbers yesterday. We also dropped clips too. So if y'all couldn't stay for the whole thing, man, we're dropping clips. But I look at this team And to me, or I'm sorry, Levante said that culture has to change at the top, and it starts from the top. And I look at this team, and yes, I agree with you, but your ownership's not going to change. You have to figure out how to get football people in the room that know what they're doing. You have to bring in some of those former Chicago Bears who are volunteering to come in and help you assess people and look at coaches and because they know what it takes. You have to get people that have played the game and understand the business side of it in the room. Don't do this backwards. Don't go get don't fire your head coach and then fire your GM. If we're being honest, if the Bears were to do this the right way, and I know we got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna wrap up here in a little bit. But if we're being honest, if the Bears were to do this the right way, the first part you wait till the end of the year, and I know it sucks, but you wait till the end of the year, you fire Ryan Pace. You then bring in Chicago Bears. And I'm not saying just anybody. You bring in guys like Olin Kreutz, maybe Lance Briggs, or maybe even Brian Urlacher. I know he's a taboo name, but he understood football. You bring in guys like that who understand the ins and outs of the game and what players need and what the players want. You let them talk to the players and you let them go assess who could be possibly a GM candidate that has alignment with what the team needs. Let people that understand football make football decisions. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about, oh, he's a nice guy and all. It's not that. Let them let people who have understand the game of football make your football decisions. You got George and Michael and all of these mugs making football decisions, and none of them have probably even played football for real. I'm talking about like as kids or nothing. They probably never played football. They're billionaires. And I'm not going to lie to you, Cornelius. The only thing that scares me about Louis Riddick is Louis Riddick was in on Matt Nagy as well. Sometimes people just hire their friends. Sometimes people just hire their friends. Louis Riddick seemed like a great name until I realized, oh, he's doubling down on Matt Nagy. He was really in on Matt. He was like, no, I think it's Ryan. Ryan hasn't given him the tools. He hasn't given him the keys. And Matt's been terrible the entire time. So don't always just assume that people are going to make the right decisions because they're in these circles or they're in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Louis Riddick is a bad decision. I'm not saying he's not. But I'll tell you this, Louis Riddick would have hired Matt Nagy as well. If Louis Riddick had become the Bears GM when Ryan Pace did, he would have hired Matt Nagy as well. You'd be in the same spot. And that's really it, man. That's really it, man. Because to me, this is where the team has to go for them to be successful. And I think that there can be players in here that can help the team be successful. I think that there can be players here. There's going to be a lot of players here that are going to be gone when the next regime gets here. And change is coming. But when the next regime gets here. And so now you got to figure out are they going to pick the right pieces? Are they going to pick the right players? Are they going to be moving in the right direction? Or are we going to be in the same situation moving forward? That's the tough part of it all, man. Hey, listen, we'll be back here bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m. We don't have any live calls or anything today. So we're going to be back bright and early tomorrow at 6 a.m. So we hope to see y'all there, man. For all those blue collar muds, for everybody that tuned in and rocked with us, we appreciate the love that y'all showed to the show, man. Y'all have shown so much support for the show, man. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the page, all that good stuff. The Morning Breeze will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Ayo, Chicago. Ayo, world. Ayo, Breeze Nation. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again, man. To continue watching our content, click the links in the descriptions below. Make sure to check out the clips when they drop today as well. And if you missed the clips from yesterday, go check them out as well, man. We got some good content over there for y'all as well. Hey, yo, y'all stay safe out here, man. Peace.